There is no swearing
Hello! Hello!
Hey! Hello!
Oh, you're all really loud.
here.
That's great. I like it.
Bonjour.
Oh god, I do
Oh
apologise.
my goodness, that looks
It's
lovely.
gonna get louder.
Look at all of us here.
Oh, scary.
Right. So,
Nice.
how's everybody? Welcome to this special, this Bank Holiday Weekend special. We are here with our very special guest, John Hicks. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, how are you? Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me back on the show. I do appreciate your time and efforts.
Oh,
And your sacrifice.
that's a sacrifice.
Especially the sacrifice.
Especially the
Yeah.
sacrifice. All those
Yeah,
D6s we've rolled.
You'll
to
probably
generate new
notice that
characters.
Angela isn't here right now. Yeah, she was the sacrifice, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
The police
Let's
will,
see if it's worth it.
will be going out, digging up the patio quite soon. Yeah, so, John, do you want to tell us a little bit about what we're going to be doing?
Sure. There is a game out, which you'll find on Drive-Thru RPG called In Darkest Warrens, written by Scott Malthouse, who brought us Romance of the Perilous Land. Fantastic OGL game. And In Darkest Warrens is a rules-light fantasy game. Uses a single D6 for skill resolution, so automatically I love it. So it's it's a great little game. It's really easy to run, which is perfect for online gaming. I think all rules-light games are perfect for online gaming. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. And I'll be running a game, setting a fantasy campaign setting, which I'm still designing. So hopefully some of the feedback and input from you guys might actually help towards fleshing that out. Called Oaths of Helvendur, well, which I'll explain a little bit more in a little bit once we get the game going. And that's pretty much it. And tonight's game is going to be set during a castle siege where lots of violence will occur and possibly some drinking.
Ale!
Excellent. Well, that is what we're going to do, and I am just going to make sure that I am properly logged in because I got kicked out of VTT there, and just logged back in. And with that piece of technical magic and wizardry, we are ready to go into this game and find out what fates befall us. Not so much if we'll die, but how many times.
Well, we'll see, won't we? Everybody keep a score count. There will be questions at halfway point.
Right. Yeah, John, I'll pass right over to you.
Okay, right. Well, welcome to the game. And straight away, I'd like to thank you guys for inviting me back on. And I'd like to thank you all for turning up and taking the time out to come and play the game. I really, really appreciate it. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Why are you here and what is going on? We'll talk about your characters and why they are here in just a moment, but let me just give you a little bit of background as to what we're doing. Quick question, is the Foundry screen up? Yeah, so you can see the map. Yeah, everybody can see the map?
Yep.
Brilliant. You'll notice that the layout of the map here is 4 major areas. The Kingdom of Pageland, Kingdom of Chesnovia. On the top right there, you've got Torbur, the Elven Shields, and on the very south, you've got Garag, the Hobgoblin tribes. Basically, what happened was in the depths of history, the Kingdom of Pageland, which its rich resources of trees, mountains, different stones, arable land, it's the place where everybody wanted to live, and that was owned by the elves, and the elves lived there, and they loved it, and everybody got on. Everybody was happy. The lands of men, if I can just scroll that over a little bit, was over to the east, where the Buzz Indian Empire is. There we go. Hold on just 1 second. Oh, bless. And that's where lands of men were. So Kingdom of Pageland, that's where the elves were, and then the Hobgoblins tribes once flooded north. They all banded together like they do at Christmas, and they all came flooding north and over the borders, and the elves had a major problem with them. They were getting overwhelmed, so they turned to the lands of men and said, can you help us out? We really do need help. And the men said, yeah, we'll come and help you, no problem at all. And I'll just mark, they built a fort. This fort just here on the crossroads of the major routes, they named Helvendur. And here at this fort, which is where they planned their war against the Hobgoblins. And there were oaths taken in Helvendur, and these oaths basically said that the lands of men would help the lands of the elves, and it would be a sort of amicable agreement, and everything would be. And after the war was over, they'd share a few things, maybe open up trade routes, and everybody would be happy and they'd live in peace. So the lands of men came flying into the kingdom of Pageland from the north, from where you see the Elven Shields Islands are, and and together with the elves, and the elves were very few and far between now. Their numbers had been decimated. They pushed the hobgoblins back to the south and completely freed the land of what was then known as Torbur. Everybody celebrated. There was much joy throughout the land. But then it was time for the humans to leave, and the elves turned around and said, "Thank you very much for your help. We can help you. We can give you whatever you want. We can teach you more about magic and all this sort of thing. So thank you and goodbye." But man, realizing just how rich the kingdom was, and the resources that were there, the wonderful trees, the jewels, the stones, the metals, everything, they said, "No, we're going to stay. This is now your payment for us helping you drive out the hobgoblin tribes." And the elves were like, what? But we took oaths for this not to happen. We took oaths that we would respect each other. And basically, man's reply was, and they settled Pagelands. The elves they couldn't fight. They had no will left to fight. They had no numbers to fight. So they crossed the sea and ended up in Torbur, which they called the Elven Shields, where they basically settled with their very few numbers, and that was it. We fast forward a few hundred years. Basically, the kingdom of Pageland has been established. The kingdom of Chesnovia is to the south now. The one true faith is spread across the land, and the hobgoblin tribes have been kept to the south, basically trapped in their own little area. They don't want to. There's not much there. It's pretty ragged. It's pretty rough. They don't want to live there. They want the lands to the north, and their numbers have been building over the years. And that's like a pressure cooker. That's about to pop. And then one day it does pop. The hobgoblin tribes all band together, and they all come flooding north. The kingdom of Chesnovia and the kingdom of Pageland, their kings, their children had just married to create this solid alliance between both kingdoms. So when Chesnovia said to Pageland, "We need help down here right now, and if we fall, then you fall next," they were more than happy to send their armies flooding south. And they all started to push the hobgoblins further and further south. And then something rather unexpected happened. Suddenly they were invaded from the north. Round about here, if I can just make that work. The elves had spent the last few hundred years building their numbers, really refining their craft in magic and warfare. And they crossed the sea and started invading from the north. They took advantage of the fact that men had run south to fight against hobgoblins, and then basically, almost in a blitz, just swept across Pageland and was reclaiming their towns and the cities and their own lands for themselves under a banner of what was supposed to be liberation. But there were reports of certain towns who did not capitulate getting completely wiped out. If that's true or not, you're not too sure. But the elves basically had generations born who grew up just wanting their ancestral lands back. So they're fighting with a passion. They took every single fort throughout the kingdom of Pageland and every single fort along the border. And the only one standing now is Helvendur, the very last fort of the lot of them. If the elves take Helvendur, that's the end. The kingdom of man will fall. These kingdoms of man will fall. And their access to the richest lands in the entire continent, the entire world of Cordorel, will be lost. If the elves take it, it's symbolic. One, the last fort will fall, and they will control all the forts across the border, and they will stop men from coming back into their lands. And also it's symbolic because if they take that fort, they've got their revenge at the very place where men took their oaths and then broke them. And this is where you fortunately find yourselves. At the Castle Helvendur, literally the night before the elves actually arrived to seize the castle. And all you've got to do is hold out for long enough until the king's men can leave enough forces back to hold the hobgoblins, and they're going to send a relief force north as fast as they possibly can to relieve the castle and hopefully save the kingdom of men. So that's your background. Aesthetically, I'm looking at 14th, 15th century Bohemia. So those kind of sort of Henry V sort of era. So those kind of that kind of armor, clothes, that kind of feel. And before we go any further, I am not developing this setting as an official In Darkest Warring setting. I'm using In Darkest Warrens because it was the easiest system to use, and it's a really good system to use, and it's really fantastic for this kind of thing. But I will be making it system agnostic if I do go ahead and fully write and release it. But that depends on how well things go tonight. If it turns into a bloodbath and a massacre and you all get pissed off with me, then I just won't bother. So that's that. So this is where we come to you guys. When all this war kicked off, mercenary groups and war bands and anybody, sword sales, sell swords even, got that the wrong way around. Sell swords, everybody basically who was capable of fighting flooded to these lands for an easy buck. Basically, is there a job going? Yes, we're fighting hobgoblins. Thank you very much. Everybody went to Helvendur because that's where the jobs were being divvied out, and you go and join certain battalions and armies to go and fight. Of course, when you've turned up at Helvendur, things have changed somewhat. The local townsfolk and everybody in surrounding villages have flooded into the doors. They slammed the doors, and now they've come to you to ask for your help to help defend the castle. So you've travelled here as a company, and your mercenary company is called... You've not thought of it, have you?
I don't think so. I don't know, Lloyd, have you just come up with the name? Because you're really good at this kind of thing, and you're muted.
Yeah, I was with Crimson Falcons was the one I was.
There you go.
Popped out
The Crimson Falcons.
The Crimson Falcons. Yeah.
If only I could put a job naming things, because apparently that's what I'm good at. Nothing else.
Just name
So
it.
let's go round the board, and I'll call out your name, and if you want to introduce your character, who they are, what they're like, and what their role is in the mercenary group. So we'll start with Lloyd.
So my character is Beck. He's a bit of a local lad. He's basically like a blacksmith that's been jumped up to military service by joining onto the company. And he's gonna be like, I guess, one of their frontline fighters.
What's he like? What's his attitude?
I think he's probably like a bit naive, I guess, but like he's fighting to sort of defend the people here, in the like he's got a grown up and he knows them, so like, yeah, he's not like a jaded veteran yet. So like he's got like some kind of roots in the community, so that's kind of what he's going for to try and protect.
Sweet. Pirate.
Yeah, I'm playing Caleb. Caleb's a rogue. He's going to be from one of the nearby kingdoms. He's kind of come here. He's really unambitious. He's quite lazy, but he's trying to find a quick and easy way to make a name for himself. And so he's found himself here in Helvendur, thinking he's going to head south. He's got charm. He can blag people, blag stuff. So he's he thinks he's cool, and will be able to blag his way away from the front lines. Yeah, basically that's it. But yeah, he's lazy. He's unambitious.
He's unambitious and lazy, and that's his demeanour. Yeah, does it come across in his attitude?
I think so. I think it probably will. I'll try to have that come across in his attitude.
Strain.
Right, I'm playing Talon Glaze, a ranger who actually comes from Pageland. He's from a village on the eastern coast, so he's fairly certain that his village has been destroyed, and he is itching, and I mean itching, to shoot some elves. And he intends to do his best for the company and get a little bit of personal revenge as well.
What's his attitude? How does he come across?
Stern, and eager to get some killing done, because every elf he sees was involved in the destruction of his village. He's absolutely certain of that. Absolutely certain. So he wants payback.
The bastards.
The bastards. I'm gonna kill him.
My name is Baldur. I am the elder of the group, but by no means am I the weakest. The power is with my mind. I am earnest, and I am able to draw forth the magic power upon the elves that they taught us. Right back at them, I think.
What's his attitude? How does he come across to people?
He is very patient, but he is also very eager to slay and kill with his power. But at times, he is thoughtful and can heal those injured around him. So necessarily, he cares a little bit. Just a little bit more, perhaps, than some of the others.
As an old man, does he have long hair and a goatee? Because we were having this discussion earlier, and I just don't want him
Yes!
to die unexpectedly.
No,
Hit by a truck,
look.
maybe.
Yeah.
Now. I can see we're going to have trouble this evening.
I told you it was appearing in an upcoming game. I just didn't say how soon.
Long silver
That's
hair and a goatee, not like anybody around this table.
To be fair, you did last 20 minutes.
Oh.
So, right. So
I'm
let's
allowed
talk.
to murder them as well, right?
Depending if they make any more comments about goatees, I suppose.
Excellent. Yeah.
Now to the castle. So let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Activate. So you can see that, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Right. Just so everybody knows, I'm basing the castle on one of my favourite places in the entire world called Conwy Castle in northern Wales. It's I mean, if you get a chance to ever visit there, for God's sake, do so. It's absolutely picturesque, and it's a classic castle design, 13th century fortress. And it's one of my favourite places in the entire world. And we were talking about this earlier. Whenever I talk about castle siege, whenever I'm thinking about castles, one of the first images that pops into my head is always Conwy Castle. So I thought if I'm gonna fight somewhere and have people die, fight, then it's going to be at one of the most beautiful places ever constructed in the realms of man. So we're going to be using this map to run the game. So, if anybody has any more questions,
I think we're going to need more men and women.
oh, trust me, there's going to be more. There's not just you guys. There are going to be more.
After that.
It's okay. This castle is only 10
I mean-
feet across. We'll be all right.
Yeah, I think you'll find if you wait like 24 hours, there'll be far too many people. But
Yeah, it's not like a PlayStation 2 game. I can draw more than 8 characters on the screen at any one time.
That's right.
So, let's have a look. Okay, so let's start the game. Basically, you've been approached by the Lord of the castle, Lord Senmund, who basically is here with a skeleton staff. He's got a few soldiers and what have you, but as far as they were concerned, the king should have been back by now. But they've sent forces north, and they're constantly getting waylaid by hobgoblins. So they're running a bit late. So the only thing he's really got inside the walls are the soldiers that he's got left. Most of them are either too young and never fought before, or too old. Loads and loads of farmers and children have also offered to fight as well, because of course they don't want to die. So he hasn't really got much. The only other thing that he does have are several mercenary groups who are there. Your guys, the Crimson Falcons, being one of them. Because you've all got experience in this kind of thing, he's decided to say, look, we're going to put you in charge of a certain area. And the certain area, if you see on the map, is here, the Bakehouse. Oh, clicked the wrong thing. The Bakehouse Tower. Now, I'm just going to jump to another quick image, which I'll activate here. And as you can see, if I can, how do I move this? Oh, there we go. That's going to put you about here, round about. I can't get it to work. Oh, Foundry. Around about here. Yeah. Can you all see that okay?
Yep.
Yep. And that's where he's basically put. He said, look, we've got there's a few dozen men. You just go there. None of these guys have really had that much combat experience. The older ones have been out of it for God knows how long. They're literally just window dressing guys in suits of armour and spears. We're going to put you there, and can you please defend that? And basically, as you can see, it's the tower built into the rock. And then there's a slope going down all the way down to where you can see all the buildings down at the bottom right here. So yeah, this entire area here, round about here, is going to be your area of defence. Any questions?
What time of day is it?
It's actually early morning. In the distance, strangely enough, a strange mist has risen. But I tell you what, let's just crack on now. We've set it all up. We're all good to go. Yeah. Basically, you were given this position late last night. You were woken from your slumber, and he basically said, "I will give you whatever I can give you." We've got gold in the vaults. We've got food. We've got equipment. We can give you anything you can. But we need this castle defended. We know that this is not what you signed on for. We know that you came here looking for contracts to head south on bonds to fight hobgoblins. but this is what we've been dealt. You're in this castle now, and any human being that leaves these castle walls will be cut down. You have no choice but to fight. So of the evening, that's basically been woken up around about midnight. And then in the distance, a strange fog, a strange mist has gathered. Then you used to be able to see torch lights of all the markers going out towards the forest. That's off in the distance. And slowly, each one of those lights has dimmed and then gone out as this wall of fog has come closer and closer. Now, an archer with a longbow has fired a shot to get a ranging shot, and quite literally, the wall of fog stops just a few paces from that ranging shot where that ranging shot landed, which in itself is ominous. And as the sun is starting to rise up over the horizon, basically behind you, and the sun's starting to sort of cast over the actual castle itself, you've got long shadows of the castle stretching out. The light begins to increase, and then the lighter it gets, the thicker the fog gets, and it's literally like a wall bank of fog, just not moving forward. This unnerves quite a lot of the people. It unnerves the older men. I've never seen anything quite like it and they're travelled. But the young soldiers and some of the farmers that have turned up with pitchforks and their dad's old broken swords, I mean, they're absolutely terrified. They've never seen anything like it, and they know it's not natural. Would anybody like to say anything to calm their nerves?
That don't seem quite right.
The elves are coming. If we don't kill them, they'll kill us. So kill them.
Hold your nerve. Do not be put off by their clever tricks. They are just mysterious, but they still bleed when they are cut.
Okay, Strain and Croy, both of you make person rolls. It's a d6, and basically you've got to roll equal to or higher than the score that you've put into person.
Nope.
Okay, sorry, Talon.
Nope.
Oh my lord. Well, you're not entirely too sure, but you think a couple of them might have just shit themselves. But, you know, who knows at this time of the day? It is quite early, and the horses have relieved themselves overnight. You're not too sure. That's going to make things a little bit more difficult. Basically, they're not convinced. You know, you're a complete stranger. They don't know who you are. And as they're stunned there, and you see one of them sort of trembling so much, his helmet isn't with his nose guard is literally, you can hear it clanking on. It's oversized. His head's too small for it. He's only a young lad, can't see more than 16 summers, and you can hear his helmet clanking. He's literally shaking in fear. And then out near where the arrow is, steps a solitary figure. He just steps out, and he's dressed in long flowing robes. It's like I did have a picture of it. I should have put it up actually. It's like scale armor, but it's like a long coat of scale armor and really big thick high boots. It's got a proper helm with sort of very Viking. So it's got the tassels going around with the eyepieces down and the nose guard. He steps forward. He's got a really long spear, probably about 3 times the height of him, and he looks quite tall. Who it is as he stands. And he stands there and he's sort of looking up at the walls and he's sort of gazing. And an archer, one of your guys, sort of pulls back, sort of takes aim, and then looks at one of you, obviously looking for the the order to fire.
Fire.
I'm assuming one of us is in charge, right? I mean,
Well, that's completely up to you.
Shoot him! Shoot him!
Strain is the leader. Okay.
Shoot him!
All right.
Talon's the leader.
He pulls off the shot.
Aims at the arrow.
This guy is obviously a trained longbowman, and he pulls back and he sort of steps forward as he fires and gets as much force behind it as possible. The arrow goes flying through the air and lands just at the feet of the elf, who looks down at it and then sort of looks up, and then you can hear the archer go, "He's out of range! He's out of range!"
Well, ain't he a clever bastard?
He holds up his arms and holds up the spear, and then the wall of fog starts moving forward, and he starts moving forward, walking forward with it. And then as he moves forward, he disappears into the fog, as the wall of fog literally starts coming towards the castle.
Well, now they're in range.
Do we have any other archers?
You've got 3 other archers, and of course, Talon, you've got a bow as well.
Only got a bow. Ready your bows, men! Shoot!
Yep. They set forward, they all pull back, And yeah, you all fire. You can make a shot if you want, but you will have because you're shooting into the fog. You don't have a definitive target. You will have to roll at least a 6. No, you pull off your shot, and I'll just make a quick roll for these guys. Roll. No, they miss as well. None of them hit. So they all fire, and you can the arrows. As soon as you can hear the arrows, the assholes. I do apologise. You can hear the arrows flying through the air. That's how bad a shot they are. They go flying through the air, and then the arrows are disappearing into the fog. But there's no sound. And then you hear this strange ululating sound, like almost like an opera singer, like a soprano, sort of exercising vocal cords. Oh, and it's getting louder and louder, and there's lots of it, and joining it like a huge chorus. And then that same guy steps forward and throws his arms wide, and the fog sort of blows out all around him, like there's a bubble creating around him. And then other warriors dressed like himself come running forward with his really wickedly long swords, and they're all serrated on the edge. And as he slams his staff down onto the ground, some weird force lifts them up into the air. And they've all got ropes over their shoulder, so it looks like they with ladders. And they literally all come flying. There's dozens of them flying up towards the wall with a sword up, with the rope over their shoulder, pulling the rope with them. And they're singing like I say, like a huge group of sopranos. But as they fall down on you, that song turns into a scream. Imagine a soprano screaming at the top of her lungs as it comes down. It's really, really disconcerting. And I'm just going to make a quick group roll for everybody on the wall. And unfortunately, because of the ones that you rolled earlier, they're going to be at a bit of a negative. Oh, and they still rolled okay. So they stand their ground as these elven warriors literally fall down upon you. And it's going to be 1 each. Because you're expecting the attack, I'm going to allow you guys to have initiative because you're there. Right, who's got range? Who wants to do anything ranged before they actually get there?
I will shoot one. I will shoot the one coming at me. Hopefully.
Brilliant. Okay, go for it. So you make a ranged attack. So, yeah, D6 against your nimble. And it's a hit. I'm counting rolls of 6 as a type of critical, and these. So you do 2 points of damage. The actual elves themselves aren't that strong. By the looks of it, they all look quite not weak, but they look. How can I put it? Sort of. They look really, really bony. They look really, the sunken cheeks, their eyes are hollow as they come down, like they're almost ethereal. As it comes screaming down towards you, you bring up the bow, you pull off the shot, it goes straight into its chest. He howls and then crumples at your feet, slamming down. If the arrow didn't kill him, the actual fall after being shot in the chest by an arrow certainly did. Anybody else unranged? Croy, do you want to do a blaster with any magic at all?
Yeah, I'm just looking to see. I'm just trying to remind myself. I've got a hex, I've got a heal, and I've got a hold. So I don't think any of them are particularly useful at this point in time. I think I'll wait till I get a bit closer.
Gotcha.
You do it, hold one in midair and just rob him of his momentum. Beck would probably try and line him, move into position ahead of one of the guys with his sword back to sort of try and wallop him.
Yeah, he's literally falling on top of you. But like I said, because he's coming at you and you're prepared for it, you get to make the first attack. So if you make a roll against your brawn, D6. And just equal to or greater than your brawn.
That should be enough. I think my brawn is 3+.
Yep. So that's a hit as he comes falling down towards you, and I'll give you an extra point of damage as well because he's literally falling on your sword. You literally swing your sword at him, and you sort of smack him straight across the head as he comes flying down towards you. Doesn't quite kill him, but it is enough to daze him completely. He takes a swing back. They've got 4+ on their attacks, and he rolls a 4. That's going to be a hit. Do you want to parry?
Could I parry? Yeah, so that'll be another brawn check.
It's not in the original rules, but I'll just explain for the viewers in case you've read the game. I'm actually adding an additional rule, whereas if you want to try and parry an attack, if you do get successfully hit, you roll against your brawn for a parry as you normally would a normal attack, and whether or not that succeeds, you will lose any next chance to attack. But if you do succeed, you stop all damage. So it's up to you. Beck, you're going to go for a parry?
Show it up.
Go for it.
Yeah, hope for the best.
Ooh.
Nope.
Sadly not. He comes down and hits you for 1 point of damage.
Yeah. Right.
You go staggering back. He smacks you across your armour on your shoulder. Sorry, I forgot to ask actually. Are you wearing armour?
Couldn't afford it.
No, you couldn't afford it. Oh no.
Unless we're provided with armor.
I'll tell you what, everybody. Let's have a look. The warrior and the ranger you can both have chain armor.
Right.
The rogue and the mage, you're both given hide armor. That basically, the chain armor gives you +2 to your wounds, and hide armor gives you +1 to your wound. Okay?
Nice.
So yeah, it comes flying down, he smacks into it, and that staggers you backwards. Caleb.
Caleb is going to put his spear down on the ground, bracing it for these things as they're kind of coming, leaping into him, and he's just holding it there in place, hoping to skewer one of these things as it kind of lands on top of the spear.
Brilliant. What I'll do is, if it's a successful attack, I will give you an extra point of damage, because that's a pretty good idea. If you roll a 6, I will give you 3 points of damage against him.
Oh.
Because that would be a good hit. So, yeah, make your roll. Basically, to Brawn.
I've missed. Damn.
Okay, he comes flying down. You do the spear, but as he comes down, it literally you don't know what happened. You don't know if it's just last minute panic on your part or whether he's just really lithe. But he basically goes past the point of the spear and comes down with the sword directly at your head. He makes an attack. He needs 4+. He rolls a 2. He completely misses. His sword goes past you and smacks into the ground. Now you notice when the sword hits the ground, there's like you can actually feel that something vibrate under your feet. It's really strange. Like there's something special about this sword, and it gouges into the stone by about 5 or 6 inches, and it literally cuts into the stone. It's really, really, really sharp. You don't want that hitting you, Beck. So Croy, down to you.
Yeah. I've got a sword at my side.
I'm going to take a swing, Gandalf style.
Yeah, exactly.
Go for it.
Once
He had long hair and a goatee. Okay, yeah, go for it. Make your attack.
Yeah, so roll.
So yeah, just basically D6, and you have to roll equal to or higher than your brawn. Oh my lord.
I'm getting a 1 as the third. Anyway, so that
Okay.
misses.
I take a swing and he misses. He comes down to attack. His sword, he comes blasting down, and he rolls a 3. He just misses. So he takes another swing and what have you. Now, all around you, what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll, it's 4 each way. So see how well your boys are doing? Yeah, they rolled a 4, so they're doing okay. And the elves fighting against them, oh god, they're doing better. So yeah, your boys are getting hit pretty bad. They've come down, they've already killed half a dozen people. And over their shoulders, these ropes are basically like they are rope ladders. And they're literally hacking their way through people. There's like a grappling hook over the end of the rope ladder, and they're running forward and basically trying to get it to stick down onto something whilst they're hacking and keeping people back. And then that's when you hear a horn blast. As there's loads of these guys coming over from all different parts of the walls, and then swarms of elves start running towards the rope ladders that have been put into place. All the while, this mage guy, he's stood there. He's literally just waving his hands around, sort of LARP style, and you can actually see the fog sort of forming and moving around him. And where certain things are happening in certain areas, the fog gets thicker there. So he's obviously making it more difficult for the defenders. So he's actually controlling the fog and moving the fog around almost tactically. So we go. Yeah. So we go to Beck. He took a swing at you.
This round. Yeah.
You can't attack, unfortunately. So he's going to take another swing at you. Yeah. Oh, sorry, go on.
Now that we know that they're trying to put these grappling hooks down, I'll probably try and use my actions to try and toss off those grappling hooks. Cool.
Going to take a swing at the rope, or just?
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, it's because the swing will probably take me counter to an attack. I was just thinking the use item thing to just sort of try and lift them up and toss them over the side.
Cool. Go for it. Yeah. Okay. In that case, then just make a nimble roll.
Oh no. To be fair, I can't get much worse. Just.
Excellent. You grab hold of the hook, you pull it, you let it go. The elf makes a lunge for it in the hope that he grabs it.
Yeah.
And he fails and misses, and the rope ladder goes and disappears. The hook disappears, and over the side you hear "ah" as it goes over the side.
My one job at a time, my friend.
Yeah. The elf is outraged at this. Of course, he's making an attack at you, and he misses. So now you can return the attack. Yeah, if you wish, but that'll be the next round.
Next turn.
Pirates. Yeah. Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb shouts out, "Cut the lines! Cut the lines!" And he grabs a hold of the shaky head guy that was behind him and pushes him forward.
The elf. Yeah.
Yeah, anyone, yeah. I'm going to try and take a swing with his spear at the
Okay.
elf that's kind of got his sword embedded into the rock next to him.
Cool. In fact, that's a good point, actually. Let's make a quick roll for the elf.
Yeah.
Oh, his sword is stuck in the rock.
Oh,
So, yeah, he's going to be a bit of a problem. So, first of all, I want you to make a person roll to see if anybody actually obeys your command.
okay. Coming up. Yes, that succeeds.
Brilliant. You push that lad with the shaking helmet, and literally
Yeah.
he's pulled this short sword with the tip broken off. Obviously, his dad, he didn't know what to do with it. he goes running forward to the first line, which has gone taut. There's obviously people on it. He hits it, cuts the line, and then the line goes over. You can hear shouting as obviously elves have fallen to their doom as they were climbing up the thing. So well done. And you
lad.
can attack this elf if you want to.
I'll try. That's a hit.
Brilliant. So that does 1 point of damage. Yeah, you go stepping forward. You swing the spear around. Let me just make a note of this elf. You haven't hit him yet, have you?
No, that's the first time I
No.
caught him. Yeah.
So yeah, you've caught him one. You sort of catch him across the head, across the helmet, sort of twist his helmet slightly. He goes staggering back. He's not going to be able to get the sword out. Oh no, it's a different round now. No, so ignore that roll. And then we're on to Talon.
Okay. Is there any of our people that are looking like they need some assistance?
Yes. You've heard the shout, cut the lines, and a lot of the soldiers are now running forward, basically trying to do that. To your left, you see a couple of lads have gone over. One's literally, he's got what looks like a blunt cleaver, and he's so panicked the cleaver's the wrong way around. He's got hold of the line. He's just belting it like he's trying to get a tune out of it. And his other friend is at the wall with a blacksmith's hammer, and you can see an elven head sort of come up. Almost it's really strange because, like I said, the light's behind you, and as it comes up, this elf is beautiful. It's literally shining like the morning dawn, except for the fact that he wants to tear your face off. So it basically comes up with a short sword ready to stab this guy in the head.
Another arrow out.
Take your shot. Good shot.
Nice.
The arrow goes shooting forward and it sort of catches him. You do 1 point of damage to him, but I'm going to get him to make a nimble test because he is on top of the ladder and he doesn't want to fall off. And he doesn't. He reels backwards you can only shoot him in the shoulder or in the head. You catch him in the shoulder. He goes staggering backwards. He still takes the swing, but completely misses the lad. And so the lad takes a swing at him as well. And he completely misses anyway. So, but you shoot this elf and basically blocked that particular rope ladder. Croy, or should I say, Faldor?
If I walk up to one of the ropes and my idea here is I'm going to freeze somebody at the top of the rope so that they can no longer climb or grip onto the rope and therefore slide down the rope and take everybody else with them on the way down.
That's a good idea. Okay, well, you need to make a mind roll to cast the spell.
Yep. So that's a D6. It has to be over 3. Or 3 or over. Hang on.
3 or over. That's it.
Yep.
You cast the spell. You catch him in the magic. He can't move. Sadly, he's gripped onto the actual rope ladder. He doesn't fall, but at the same time, nobody else can get past him either. So you quite effectively stopped
and
that.
I shout, cut the line! Cut the line!
In that, you make a person roll as well, please.
Oh, this will end well. It did end well.
Yay! One of the guys sort of notices, hears what you say, and sort of nods emphatically, goes running forward with his sword, and misses. But either way, he's there. He's there at the rope, and he's basically hacking away.
Yeah.
There's I need. Yeah, I need all of you to make person rolls at the moment. I need more than half of you, so basically I need 3 of you to succeed.
I succeed. Yeah, I succeeded.
I didn't.
No, not me.
No. So 2 successes, 2 failures, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
succeeded, and someone else did.
If you guys had passed all those, your actions would have emboldened the men, and they would have got bonuses to the next rolls. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. These things are still a little bit sort of tense. By the way, I do have a list of actions of things that are happening here, and depending on your actions will depend on what happens throughout the siege, and depends on whether you hold out long enough as well. So good luck. So we come back to Beck.
Okay, I'm going to take a swing at the elf guy, see if I can finish him
Yep.
off, and then
Go
get
for
back
it.
to work.
Okay, so you make another swing at him.
And that is
It's a hit.
hit for
Okay, you go stepping forward, you take a swing, you smack him one. That gets him for another point. and that's enough to do him.
Sweet, and then I'll go on. I'll use my second action to move on to the next rope ladder. If it's the one that the guy's frozen on, I'll go over there to get ready to help the guy next turn.
Brilliant. Okay, you go moving forward. You can hear more screaming, and there's more elves coming over the top. They're going to be there in a couple of rounds. Caleb.
Yeah, so Caleb, as this guy is kind of hanging onto his sword trying to retrieve it, Caleb's going to try and bring his spear down to kind of cut the guy's arm off as he's hanging onto the spear. At the same time, he's kind of shouting out, "Get him off the walls!"
Okay, it's a bit antisocial, but I kind of agree with where you're going there. Okay. Yeah, go for it. So make your attack first.
Okay. I miss.
Unfortunate, and then make a person roll to see if you can get people to move to sort of follow your instructions.
And that works. Yeah.
That works, brilliant. So yeah, the shaky-headed kid, that's his name now, Shaky Head. The shaky-headed kid, yeah, he's the one that you went for, you know, who you emboldened earlier, and now you've emboldened him again, and the people around you as well. So they're all stepping forward. So they'll get a bonus to their roll. Oh, actually no, that depends on what you guys roll. So I'm getting ahead of myself there. So so that's happened. He can't get his sword out. Let me just see if he manages to now.
Yeah.
Oh yes, but now he does. So he's got his sword out. Oh god, it's turned to a Carry On film. So he's basically he managed to get his sword out, and he's spun around, and he's there, and he's obviously ready to go for another round. It's getting worse. So so Talon, you're up.
Okay. Any ropes that need cutting or anything near me?
Yes, there's about half a dozen ropes that need cutting that are being sort of set up. There's elves again coming down overhead, but as you're sort of looking around wondering what to do next, suddenly there's a tube of fog, almost like curling like a snake, sort of comes over the wall and then starts to obscure your vision.
Right. Okay.
That mage down on the ground is creating some major problems for this wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see what you did there.
Can I shoot the mage?
Yes, you can. So yeah, go for take your shot.
And I'm also going to use my my volley attack on it as well, which means I can make a second attack on it.
Brilliant. Go for it.
Okay.
Your first roll.
Here's a 1. No, it's too dark.
No.
Thank God for
Too
the volley
dark.
attack.
Second roll.
4. Yes.
Yes. The second roll does it. Your arrow goes scratching down. You don't know how this guy's obviously draining himself. By the looks of it, his skin's turned grey from what you can see through the fog. Anyway, the shot goes straight into his throat. He sort of goes extremely rigid. He drops the staff, and the moment he lets go of the staff, the fog literally just whoosh, dissipates. And across the field, the fog across the field. Well, you know the scene in Helm's Deep with all the army literally ranked out there. That is basically what you see. But as soon as the fog disappears, that is what's out there. There's siege towers. There's elven armies ranked up like Roman legionnaires, all ready to go. There's catapults being pulled into position, and in the distance, you see something that was rumoured but wasn't never actually proved. Something that the people from the north called the Getor Wormir, which in Elvish means angry dragon, and it's the biggest trebuchet ever built, and it is literally a good 50 foot high, and it's been pulled by a team of about 5 dozen oxen because it's just so heavy to move. It's got 6 wheels, and the head of it, the weight of it, is nothing but a huge lead and gold dragon's head. And the stone that it shoots, each stone is the height of a man and can break down a wall in one shot. And the rumour is that is what enabled them to take out castles so easily. Right. And that is being slowly moved forward into position. That is a stunning view across the thing. They've even cut down a whole mass of trees to make space for their army.
Would there be any braziers and arrows prepared that can be lit?
Yes, there is. Just off to your right, there's all sorts of them. There's a whole pot of them put in there, dipped in oil.
And is that's trebuchet in range?
Oh no, it's going to be a while before that trebuchet's in range.
Okay.
The army is.
Yeah, but the archers at the moment are fighting off things.
Yes, they are. They're at the moment, but the archers that you do have, unfortunately, are mostly in hand to hand.
Keep at them, lads! Kill the elves!
Okay, make a person roll. But I'm going to ask you to increase your person score by 1 because the sight out there is a little bit daunting. So somebody shouting "fight your best" when they're about to get stabbed in the face might not be that great. So and you rolled a 6. So that's perfect. So basically, forget everything I just said. These people fucking love you. So yeah, we're just getting. Well, we're gonna wipe them out to the last man. The last men being us. So basically, they got the view out there. You shout that, and that for some strange reason that gives everybody resolve. Like if we're gonna die, let's just go out fighting, and that's when we come to Faldor.
Is there any elves up on the battlements?
Oh yes,
So
there's quite a few, and there's more coming up the rope ladders.
yeah,
They're very nimble.
damn it. So yeah, he's gonna go to the nearest one.
Yep.
And he is going to try to test the mind of these elves. He's going to use Hex, and he wants to try and damage the one that's closest to either one of us, one of our group, one of the Crimsons, or just So he takes his target and he wants to try and just get right behind his eyes and his brain and just crush it if he can. But that's what he's going for.
Got it. Go for it. In that case, then, make your mind roll.
That's not a success.
No, you try. There's something. It's not like it's being blocked, but it's like the elf's mind has such a single purpose that it's very difficult to get past. This blind rage that it's actually doing. You try. You can feel. Just to give you an idea, you can feel that blind rage is obviously there to fight. He's been geared up to fight, but somewhere deep in his mind, you also detect this very, very faint glimmer of doubts. Like, why is this happening? Is this really what I want to be doing? And it's like the anger that he's feeling is convincing himself that's what he should be feeling to fight. That you just get that very, very slight feeling from there.
Yeah, okay.
Which
So
is weird.
they're a bit doubtful, and I shout that and make that known. Says, "They don't want to be here. We do not want them here. Move them now, everyone. Fight!" And kind of charge forward with my sword
Make a person roll.
in as best a manner as I can. For fuck's sake.
You trip over your own robes, and as you fall down, you fart loudly. I don't know what to tell you.
He just goes up the walls.
I killed them. No, not me. So, you go running forward, but you've given the shout, and then everybody again makes person rolls. And like I say, I need at least 3 successes.
That's a success.
That's a success.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
That's a good success.
Yay, 3 successes.
There we go, 3 successes. Right, that's going to give a bonus to your guys.
4
Go
successes.
for it. Even better. So your guys, they roll 5, but they automatically win anyway because of your 3 successes, because that would have given them a 6. And the elves. Oh, so basically you guys are crying this out, and basically in some strange way, Felder, maybe what you shouted actually helped. But the way you guys are fighting and the results that you're getting, it's giving your guys sort of purpose and is forcing them forward. The elves have just fumbled that completely, and it's like it's not as easy as we thought it was going to be. And the Getter Wormy is not here yet because somebody shot our wizard. So basically, they're not falling back, but they're not actually pushing forward as hard as they could be. Let me just again roll for the rest of the wall to your left and your right. So for the men fighting to your left, the men roll 3, the elves roll 5. They're not doing very well at all. Around about the towers, where the inner ward is, they're not doing very well at all. In fact, the elves have actually started to come over the walls now, on their ladders. And to your right, the men rolled well. These guys are fighting with the Lord. They're actually holding their ground all the way up to the West Barbican and the wall there. They're actually holding their ground extremely well, around about the same way that you are. But by the looks of things, the wall on the inner ward, so basically over to here, looks like that's in danger of falling by the looks of things. So next round, Beck.
Okay, so I'm gonna move along the wall. Can we get along to the guys that are struggling on the left? Was it?
Yeah, to your left. Yeah, so over here, just beyond the bakehouse tower. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll start moving over in that direction, taking a swing at whatever elf. Come on.
Do you want to?
Across my path.
Yeah. Okay. Make you roll. It's a hit for double damage. So you go slicing in with the sword as the elf sort of comes at you, and as you're sort of walking along, you literally well, you tell me, where do you hit him?
Yeah, I think that's like probably like a long sword, so like probably like a big cross from the shoulder going across the sternum. Yeah.
Yeah, you just slice them down
and then like boot him off. Like use the foot to sort of push it, like boot him off to get the sword free.
Yeah. When you boot him off, he falls over the wall. I want you to make a person roll. They fall over the wall onto the inner courtyard. I want you to make a person roll.
Come on, don't let me down. Nope.
No. He falls down and lands on the floor, and people see him, but it's just a dead elf. That could have gone a different way, but it doesn't matter.
One of
yeah. And then you start moving forward to help defend the inner wall. Yeah. So we go on to Caleb.
Who is going to take another strike at this guy that's trying to retrieve his sword. Do you want to roll to see if he gets his sword out before I do that?
Didn't he already put his sword out? Am I
I don't
wrong?
think he managed it, did he? I didn't think he managed it. I could be wrong. I could have been...
Okay, well he tries and fails.
Okay.
So he's there, he's yanking away. In fact, he's left the sword now, and he's pulled a wicked curved dagger out of his belt.
Yeah,
That's a
let's see
drawing
if we can
action.
hit him.
He won't be able to attack this round, because that's a drawing action.
Right. So I'm going to try and brings the spear up across the front of his chest as he's trying to draw out this dagger.
Okay, make your attack.
See if we can get him. And I can.
Okay, that does another point, and that does it. You bring the spear up, that slices him up and under his neck. There's a gout of very, very bright red blood as he goes staggering back. Those beautiful features that he has just turns into a twisted face of horror and regret as he goes staggering back and slams down onto the ground. I shouldn't have gone for the guy, the smallest one. And he basically just goes slamming down to the ground, very, very dead. I thought the guy with the beard would have been easy. But yeah, he's very, very good. He's very, very dead. I'm going to be saying that all night. Such an easy mark.
Oh,
So,
I see what you did there.
so anything else you want to do very quickly? You do one
not at
action
this
to kill
moment in
him.
time.
No.
I just use that, for now,
Gotcha. Talon. Fresh off the back of killing the enemy combat mage.
Okay, I'm also going to move towards the left to shoot any elf that I can see that way and help the ones that are lacking in fortitude.
Brilliant. You start moving forward across the wall. There's elves again still coming over the wall. Do you want to? The elf that you shot earlier actually is still there. Do you want to take any more shots?
I'll take a shot at him.
As you're moving, yeah. Okay, pull off your shot.
Finish him off. Yep.
Yep, that's enough to do it. It goes straight through his eyepiece. He goes falling backwards. I'm just going to roll for the guy behind him. No, he fails. So he goes off and he takes out the guy behind him as well, and they both go tumbling down off the rope ladder, slamming down onto the ground far, far below of where corpses are already starting to pile. In fact, the actual
lads! Keep going!
Make a person roll.
Yes. 4+.
Brilliant. Yeah, and again, that gives the people, the guys all around you purpose. They're all still pushing forward. You see, some of the guys have made some sort of rudimentary shield wall using sort of old planks of wood and actual shields, and they're pushing the elves back. They're actually starting to form up properly at the moment, thanks to your guys' roll earlier, and that brings us to Faldor.
Is there anyone around me that looks like they're injured, but like willing to keep going? If a bit of extra healing might just get them back in the fight. Is anybody falling back that I can?
There is an old man who looks very sort of world weary. Got a very leathered face, like he spent a lot of time on the road.
All right, enough with the old jokes. All right?
Oh, sorry, mate. I just can't help myself. By the way, just so I've just described that guy, and it's definitely not Caleb. So yeah, there is a guy just off to your right. He looks like a really old but extremely sturdy sword. He's got about 4 or 5 elves lying dead around him, but his arm is hanging loose. He's got blood pissing down his head,
right?
And he's basically just standing there staring at these elves in front of him, going, "Come on, then!" as he's stepping forward.
Excellent. And
I'll fucking have ya!
Carefully walk up to him and say, "My son, walk with me in the light." And I reach out my hand to try and touch and heal him.
Okay, make a mind roll.
I want to get him back in the fight so he can continue to slaughter the elves around.
Go for it. You roll a 6.
I rolled a 6.
That's even better. Okay, not only do you put some energy back into him, it's almost as if he's been given a second lease of life, and he sort of stands up, and straight away he steps forward, his sword comes down, cleaves into an L shoulder, cuts right down to his breastbone, as he's sort of screaming top of his lungs, and that gives the guys around him, as you cast this spell and get him back fighting, that gives the guys around him a lot more hope, and they're like, "Oh God, yes, let's do it! Do me next! Do me next!" And basically, they're all just all moving forward and just stabbing away and slashing and all sorts. It literally gives them this huge drive just to move forward. It's quite spectacular in a cinematic way. So it's what do you want to do for your second action?
I will follow behind instead that guy, and as he somebody else tries to get him from the side, I just bring my sword down.
Yep.
Then I'm moving to the left, I think, as well, to try to get towards the rest of my troops. So I'm going to try and slam them.
Okay, make your roll. I'm just going to make a quick random roll for this elf. Oh, this elf is already injured. So have you hit him?
I believe hang on, I can't see my sheet.
You rolled a 4.
I forgot my numbers. No, I did not hit him. My brawn is 5.
Okay, he's already injured, this elf was, but you take a swing at him, and no, you fail to connect as you keep moving. Can everybody please make person rolls? Let's see how well this is going to hold. No. No. Yes. And no. Is that a no? Yes. No. So, well, basically, you haven't failed outright. The wall will hold for another couple of rounds, so you can still go and help out at the inner wall, which is over here. If you wish, you go moving forward. You go up the steps very quickly onto that wall there. It is looking pretty rough, and in fact, the elves have started to cast off their rope ladders now, and you see they're actually moving normal ladders in. And in this part of the wall, they've started rolling the siege towers forward. You can also see them prepping the catapults as well that they've got out in on the rugged fields. So, Beck, you're first.
It's about to get hairy. Yeah, so if you keep pushing towards that section of the wall.
Yep.
So you'll take a swing at the next elf he comes across, and then probably
Well, you see one elf. He seems to be bigger than the rest, dressed in thick armor with a really tall helmet with a massive flowing mane on top of it. He's got this glaringly white sword which is holding above his head, and by the looks of it, he's rallying the people, the elves around him. By the looks of it, the guys that are coming over that wall, they're about to take this wall, and if they do take this wall, well, I mean, that's the East Barbican gone as well. So all you're going to be able to defend is the West, and you don't want to do that.
In for a penny.
You're going to go for him.
See if we can get lucky. Yeah.
Well, he's at the bottom of the stairs in front of you. When you go up and over this area here to get down onto this wall, you go up a staircase around, and there's a staircase going down. He's at the bottom of that staircase, so if you want to, you can charge down the staircase, or if you want to go full Conan, you can leap off the staircase and down.
Why not?
Full Conan is an option, and I think you'll find it's actually a term used. You're going to go for it?
I don't suppose there's any supplies we could I don't know, just pelt them with if it's fair, there's also any sort of anti-siege equipment, because we could if we could pour a barrel on them or something, and then
Talon said earlier. Talon asked earlier, there are buckets of oil with arrows which they were going to light up and use. Obviously, they haven't had a chance to do that now because of the fog. There is a bucket of that on the top of the stairs next to you. So,
I'm tempted to have grab the bucket, sort of run down the stairs with this bucket, and then just be surprise, and just throw toss the oil so it covers this elven general or whatever he is.
Yep. Surprise being there's nothing in the bucket. No, you go. Do you want to do that?
And then someone can set him fire. Yeah, and then if somebody can light him on fire or something, then hopefully that'll make him a bit of a spectacle.
Well, I'll say that you used one action to grab hold of the bucket to use it as a heaving weapon, so your next action is basically going to be hauling it over and throwing it at him. So you're going to be making a ranged attack, so you're going to be rolling against nimble.
Okay. Nope. Oh, that would have been so cool.
Okay, roll a d6 again. If you roll a 1, it goes over the wall and down into the crowd. If you roll a 6, it goes into the inner courtyard. Yeah, it falls down into the onto the roof of the inner ward. Unfortunately, yeah, it's dark, it's slippy. You've got blood on your hands.
Yeah.
You sort of swing it around. You sort of let it go. Let me just see if the guy notices. Actually,
No.
yeah, he does. So yeah, the bucket goes over his head, slams onto the wall, and then disappears down. He spins around and stares directly at you. Again, beautiful looking man. Delicacies, very delicate features. I mean, this guy's Vogue cover material, no doubt about it. Unfortunately, he wants to kill you, which is a little bit, not anti-Vogue. So he basically just spins around. He sort of looks up at you, sees you coming over with all your mates, and doesn't look too happy about it. And that's when we move on to Caleb.
I've been rushing forward, trying to go with this juggernaut that's been
Yep.
rushing in towards me to try to get towards the rest of the party. I have a technical question. I've used all of my spells and it says I can use them once per combat. What actually classes a combat? Is that an individual target, or is it?
I'll tell you what. For the purposes of this fight, because it'd be a shame if you just used all your spells and it was like, yeah, you can go home now. Cheers, buddy. So yeah, at the end, if you take a rest for 2 rounds, I'll allow you 1 choice of spell, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So for every 2 rounds, you get to cast 1 of those spells.
Okay. So I'm gonna look around. Can I take a slash at some ropes if there's, assuming that there's still people climbing up? Elves climbing up, or?
Yeah, well, we'll come to you. We'll come to you in a bit because we were just on to Caleb. Next
sorry.
after Beck. Yeah, sorry. I might have called out the name wrong. I do apologise. So yeah, Caleb.
So Caleb, he's probably hanging back a little bit from where Beck is charging ahead. So I think he's going to be grabbing a few of these people that are with us on our side, our part of the wall. He's pushing them forward and he's shouting, "Take the leader! Take the leader!" and kind of urging them to go.
They all kill Beck. Yeah.
Strange,
that was unfortunate. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Talon's our leader, so it's actually him. I'm pointing at the big fella that's that Beck's about to, or just
the
trying
big
to throw
elf.
some oil at. Yeah,
got it.
I don't
Okay,
think he's
mate.
leader, but I'm saying he is.
Yeah. No worries at all. Okay, in that case, then make a person roll.
I fail.
Right. They don't want to. This elf is bigger than the others, and it's like, hang on a minute, mate, you take the piss. You know what I mean? They start moving forward like So and then they just fall into fighting all around, and they're not really listening. You've got another action.
Okay. I'm gonna have to move forward. I can see that Beck has now drawn the attention of this guy, so I'm gonna try and maneuver myself into a position where he's more interested in Beck, and I can probably strike from the shadows and
Wait a
on the next
second.
round.
Okay, then I need you to make a nimble roll then.
Okay. That's a success.
Ooh, nice. A very good success. So that's going to give you make it a little bit easier for you as you move into position while this elf is killing Beck, engaging with Beck. So
He's got another character. It's fine.
that's true enough, actually. Don't tell me that. Jesus Christ.
No, remember, he's got to finish early, so it's.
That's a good point. Sorry. Not only, in fact, you died so badly, your other character died as well. So yeah, Talon, you're up.
Okay.
No, it's me.
Sorry.
Talon.
Not you.
You're not telling.
Oh man!
Oh, calm down, Gandalf.
He's getting excited in his old age. Right? Can I? It's the big elf guy on the left, the leader. That says
Yes, yeah, he's definitely the leader of this attacking group. Yeah.
I'm gonna turn and I'm just gonna shoot him.
Go for it. Pull off your shot, roll a d6, and etc. etc.
Ah!
Oh, it's a double hit. It doesn't kill him because this guy's bigger and more powerful than the rest, but it's like a mid-level boss. So you pull off the shot. It goes. There's a huge crowd. It goes past Beck's ear. Bet you hear this as the arrow goes past. Your hair flutters very slightly, and then the arrow continues down and over and embeds itself straight into the thigh of the big elf because it's bad. It's bad for his elf, and I'm really sorry that I made that joke. So he goes staggering backwards in a really bad way. What's your next action?
And then I'm going to scream, "Clear the walls! Then engage the siege engines!"
Make a person roll.
It's like an elf in the background being like, "We're trying."
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, brilliant, and that's enough. Yeah, people start sort of, "Rah!" And yeah, at the moment they're pushing them back off this wall. At the moment, you see some elves are looking at your wall and going, "No, I'll wait for the next one." You know what I mean?
That's the leader.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why the leader's gone to the other wall. He's like, "No, screw that noise. I ain't taking no risks. I ain't getting paid enough for this shit." So yeah, Faldor, you're up now. You can go now, Faldor.
So it's my turn.
It really is.
You at the back, get forward, stop being so lollygagging and make your way to this. And I charge and I tell some more people that look like they're falling back a little bit. Maybe they're taking a bit of a rest. They think that that somehow it isn't their problem.
Checking the nails.
So I'm going to try and get these lollygaggers into action, which is a success.
Brilliant. You fall forward, and let me just roll a dice, and this is how many men follow your lead.
2.
Yeah, well, they seem to get on quite well with each other, so they thought, yeah, let's go for it. So basically, they sort of move forward as you sort of give the shout. They've got their swords up, their shields are at the ready. They're pretty much sort of coming, not to your aid, but sort of
moving,
advancing forward as your group. What's your second action?
As I go past, I'm going to take a sword and I'm going to try and swipe at one of the hooks if there's people else climbing up.
Make your attack.
Which is probably not going to go well, but hey, why not try it?
You never know.
No, it doesn't go well.
No. You take a swing, you hit the rope, but with the flat of the blade, you idiot. So, boom. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen. You're a mage, you don't know this shit. So, which end? So, basically, you take a swing, you hit it. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually cut the rope. And that's when you're now on the new wall. And how many of you made it to the new wall now, actually? We've got Beck up there. And that's it, isn't it?
I think Caleb was making his way there because he was going to try and go for the big elf. So
okay, we'll say you as well. Talon, have you gone there?
I was moving that way, so I'm probably on the tower there and shooting at the wall.
And Faldor, were you heading over there as well?
I was heading in that direction. Yep. I was
in that case, then.
Yep.
Okay, everyone make your d6 rolls then, all against your person. Success.
Yeah, I succeeded.
So that's 3 successes.
Ooh.
Yep.
Brilliant. As you've obviously done a really good job on this wall, so you know your reputation's preceding you, even though this has only been going on for about half an hour. So you basically go running over the tower onto the next wall. The guys who are trying to defend there are really, really trying, and then they see you come over. Then they suddenly see the leader getting shot by an arrow. He staggers backwards, and he was in mid-speech. We're going to wipe the ow! And he goes staggering backwards, and then you guys come running over, and that gives them a little bit of a push. So they get a plus. So they need to roll 3 or more. Oh shite. So yeah, that didn't really help, unfortunately. They're in a really bad well. Then again, the elves failed as well. So they're in a bad way. It's kind of stalemate almost. You guys coming over the wall has been a bit of a boost, but not enough to change the day. So we start again, Beck.
So yeah, like you said, try and capitalize on that like arrow, distracting the general. And just come in with it like a sword in 2 hands, and try and like, and try.
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you to make a nimble roll, and if you pass that roll, you'll get a bonus to your damage.
Okay.
Just don't roll a 1.
No.
Okay. Well, you can attack as normal. So make a brawn roll.
Yeah.
Roll a 6 if you can.
Come on. It's just a regular.
But you did hit him, yeah.
Yeah.
So you go blasting down, you come flying down over the steps. He brings up his sword to parry. You do hit his sword, but then your sword slides down his sword and slams into the same shoulder where he got shot by the arrow. He howls in pain. I mean, it's not so much a howl. It's like like an opera singer scream. It's keening. It's horrible noise. Yeah. It's like, oh my god, who blew that whistle? You know what I mean? It's like, and he goes staggering back.
Like
the guys around him.
Goat.
Yeah.
Someone put him out of his misery.
He goes staggering back. He's going to take a swing back. He rolls and he misses. He's obviously staggered by this attack. He goes staggering back as you sort of hit. He swings his sword around one-handed, and it's really strange as he moves his sword. It's like there's a faint mist coming off it and leaving a trail. Ooh. As he comes swinging around. He takes a swing at you, and unfortunately, and luckily, and very fortunately, completely misses. And that's when we move on to Caleb. Oh no, you've got a second action.
I thought the action would be the leap.
Oh, of course, yeah. I do apologise. You made a nimble roll for that, didn't you?
Yeah.
So then, we move on to Caleb,
who has kind of manoeuvred himself in a position, to to the side of this guy as he's fighting with Beck.
Yep.
And he's going to try and strike up with the spear, trying to get this guy through the back.
Okay, I will give you an attack, but I'm going to
Yep.
give you a choice. You can
Okay.
either have a +1 to your roll, which means you have more chance to hit for normal damage, or you make a normal roll, and if you hit, you do 2 points of damage instead of 1. How do you want to play it?
Oh my goodness, that's a tough one. I'm going to go for the extra damage, I think.
Okay, so
I
make
will
yourself
regret that in just a moment, but I'm going to do that.
make your brawn roll.
Wow.
And but not only do you get it for an extra point of damage, you also do an extra point of damage because you rolled a 6 as a critical. You go
Cool.
flying in sideways with the spear. That's really, really hurt him. The spear goes up and into his side. He didn't see it coming at all. He goes staggering back. He again howls in pain. Let me just roll for his boys. So they've just watched their general get twatted. No, they're still fighting. So they've still got the energy. Wow. So yeah, well done. And then you've got a second as well. You've got a second action.
Okay. Which I think what I would like to do is kind of slip away a little again into the kind of the crowd that's around here, just so that he.
When you say crowd, do you mean the large group of elves that look nothing like you?
Those guys. No, I don't want to. No, not them.
He does look
like
he does roll.
My boys.
He's a surprisingly emaciated rogue.
I really wanted to kind of maneuver my way away from that scene so that I can maybe try the same thing again next time. That's
It's going to be more difficult next time because obviously he's aware of your existence. So you make a nimble roll.
Okay.
You can do what you did last time and just hide behind Beck again.
Well, well, it's nice to have your permission to do it. That's a pass. That's a pass. My nimble's
Pass, brilliant. So you'll be able to make a roll next time, but he will get a bonus to his roll because he's going to be a little bit more aware that there's somebody walking around with a spear trying to stab him up the arse. So we then move on to Talon.
Is the big elf still up?
He is. He's looking the worst for wear. He's got a shoulder and a sword in his. He's got an arrow and a sword in his shoulder. And by the looks of it, someone just stabbed him in the side with a spear.
Let's try and finish
Take him
him
down,
off then,
Chief.
shall we?
Do it. Make your shot.
Yes!
Great shots.
Yes!
You pull off the shots. Well, where do you want to hit him?
Straight through the eye.
Brilliant. He's sort of there. He's lifted up his sword. He's turned to you, actually, Caleb, because as you're slinking away, sort of a little bit enraged, he sort of turns, looks up at the very wrong moment as your arrow goes into his eye and then comes out of his ear. And basically, he literally goes, his head snaps back, his helmet twists slightly at the wrong angle, but now it's jammed in place. That ain't coming off, not even with Swarfiga. And he basically just staggers back a little bit and slams down onto the ground. That's going to do a massive negative to the elves, who technically roll a 1. I've knocked 2 points off their roll there. Basically, they literally crap their pants. Their captain was there fighting away, and suddenly he's just got completely nailed. A lot of them start literally fighting, looking a little bit disconcerted, a little bit nervous that this has happened. Obviously not happened before. Some of them are even making their way back to the wall. And then that gives a massive push to your guys. Brilliant shot, by the way. You've got another action. You can spend action cheering and sort of pat yourself on the back if you want.
Basically, I'm just going to shout, "Kill them all!"
And his person roll from you. As negative as it is, and a little bit disconcerting in a normal social structure, I will allow you a person roll. And yeah, that's giving people the impetus. In fact, the guys behind you are holding that wall exceptionally well, and more men are coming up from the ground. Farmers are coming up from the ground below, who are just down there shivering, wondering if the elves are going to get this far. And now they're like, "No, screw this noise. We're on the winning side." They're coming up the stairs. You see an elf sort of stood there with his back, and suddenly 3 prongs come through his chest, and there's an old dude behind him with the long hair and a goatee, basically with a pitchfork through his chest, and heaves him over his shoulder and back down, and they're cheering and coming up the stairs. And that's where we come to Faldor.
Okay. He's completely. This is, and I'm running along the wall, and I want to get rid of my sword, and I'm going to just use it as a ranged weapon, and try and throw it at somebody.
Okay.
So what I want to do next is take my bow out.
Brilliant. As you go running forward, you've got your sword in your hand thinking, what use is this? I can't even cut a rope with it.
Yeah.
I might use it for cheese later. You go run down the stairs, you see another elf coming over the wall, and then you heave your sword at him, and that's when you make a nimble roll.
Excellent. That's a slightly easier thing to
Yes, what a shot! You literally go over the thing, and he does it gladiator style. I've even got the sword right here. He goes smacking straight into his chest. He goes, he's like, what the hell? And then literally just falls backwards and off the thing and falls down to the ground with a crunch. I'm going to give you that's fantastic, well done. And then you got a second action.
I take my bow as my second action off my back.
That's a drawing action. Yeah, you pull your bow, and you're going to be able to use a spell next action as well on the next round.
Oh, cool.
And that is when you all make person rolls. In fact, I'm going to give you all a plus 1 to your dice rolls because of what's just happened.
Nice.
Turning that failure into a success.
Okay. Only it was a real table. So, oh well, it doesn't matter. You've done something amazing here. You've just killed the captain. You've done something really cool with an arrow shot. You've done something even cooler with a bow shot, and something cool with a spear. So, yeah, pretty cool all the way around. This has given these guys this massive push now to move forward, and they start pushing the elves forward. So they're not going to get any negatives to their roll. So your boys, they failed sadly, and the elves. No, the elves are holding. They're not pushing any further onto the wall, and the men and the people here are obviously holding them back as best as they possibly can. But it's going to be up to you guys to turn the tide here. You hear a chunk in the distance, and we'll come to that in a second. So we'll move to Beck.
Is that like a whistling noise? I'm gonna Beck's gonna lean over, and take up that misty white sword. It looks quite.
Okay. Oh yeah. It feels cold to the touch.
Yeah, but I imagine it might just be a bit fresher than the blade he's been using it bad to people with so far.
Yeah.
And then so he's gonna take that and then immediately once he's grabbed the hilt, sort of swing upwards and try and dice one of the nearest elves.
Yeah, you go running forward, and literally in one movement, you scoop up the sword and go straight up into a slicing up action. Yeah. Okay, make your attack.
And that is a regular hit.
That's a hit. You bring the sword up. I need you to make a mind roll now.
Uh-oh.
Make your attack with the cursed sword.
Hey, well done. No, for some strange reason, for whatever reason, it's like your passion is going into this sword, and you can actually feel it. And he sort of literally goes swinging up. So not only do a point of damage, you do an extra point of damage. Basically, whenever you hit with the sword, you make a mind roll, and if you pass that mind roll, you get an extra point of damage. But because it's basically using your drive and passion as damage. This elf is a little bit surprised he's been stabbed by something that his captain was holding earlier, and he goes staggering backwards, cries out in pain. He will make a swing back though, but at a bit of a disadvantage. And so he completely misses. He takes a half-hearted swing back. He's got this a kite shield, like a small kite shield, about the length of his arm, which is holding up. It's beautifully patterned. I mean, it's elven. You've seen elven metalwork before. It's absolutely stunning. So these guys came out all dressed up with no one to kill. So he basically lifts up his shield, and he gets through that. He takes a half-hearted swing at you. Doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, taking that next.
Yeah, it's a nice shield.
It's like by the end of the fight, he'll be fully kitted in elven armor.
But blimey, if we play this for much longer. What did you nick today? An army. So, Caleb.
Right. So I'm basically shouting, finish them off! Throw them over the side!
Make a person roll.
Oh, I will do that. And I succeed.
Brilliant. Yes, some guys, let me see how many people actually respond to that. The higher the better, of course. Way! Yeah, you get a whole bunch of people who are like, yeah, let's do them! Sort of hooligan style, let's get into him! And they sort of moving forward and sort of kind of move forward with you. Now that you've come out the shadows and revealed your true self. And so basically just flying in and basically start belting away. So, there's elves in front of you.
Take a swing at one of the nearest elves, is it? Just to try
and... Go for it. Make your attack.
Inspire them in a little bit more. I missed.
You miss. You take a swing. It's a swing and a miss. And your second action?
Yeah, I think I was shouty, wasn't it? Wasn't that my?
No, shout is a free action as long as you don't shout for more than 10 seconds, which is quite specific.
I can't attack again.
You can't, no.
No. I'm gonna brace myself, ready for the next guy that comes at me. So jamming the spear, the shaft of the spear into the ground, waiting for these guys to come charging. That's what I'll do, and I'll wait.
Okay, brilliant. So you're getting into braces. Getting into a brace position, getting into braces. So I'm just going to go off and get changed. So then we move on to Talon. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to grab one of the arrows, light it, and turn over the wall and shoot at the towers with a flaming arrow.
They are getting dangerously close. But to grab hold of the arrow and light it to shoot, that's going to take up both your actions. So you'll be ready to shoot in the next action, yeah?
Yep.
In the next round. So you got that. Do you want to shout anything while you're doing it?
Yes, I'm going to shout out, "Archers! Flaming arrows! Attack the towers!"
Make a person roll.
No.
There are archers there, but at the moment they're too busy in hand-to-hand. There's one of them actually belting an elf to death with his bow, which is kind of slightly against his job description. But it's there's not a lot they can do at the moment. But you're crying that out. Faldor.
I hear Talon shout, and I look over the side. Is it obvious where somebody is pushing or controlling these towers, or is that too far away?
Behind the towers, it's obvious that there are lots of oxen. So probably the same sort of oxen that were pulling the Getor Wormir, the massive trebuchet that's out there, which you see it now has actually stopped, which is not a very good sign. The giant trebuchet has stopped. There's oxen behind. Yeah.
Can I try and freeze the mind of the lead oxen so it causes a massive pile up and it crashes in? All the oxen just crash into each other. Okay,
then make a mind roll. If you pass, you'll freeze it and stop it from moving forward. But if you roll a 6, then there is a chance that you might be able to create a bit of a pile up.
Oh.
Well, controlling the mind of an oxen, you're standing at the walls going, ooh, and unfortunately, it doesn't happen because you're not wearing a hat. So it's you're pushing it forward. Nothing happens. You're basically trying to step. Obviously, this oxen is terrified because it's going into a massive raging battle.
Yeah.
And the sun's slightly higher now, so it can actually, it's seeing this beautiful picturesque castle, but it doesn't really care about that because there's blood and death everywhere. But you can't get into it. Can't get into the mine, unfortunately. You do have another action.
I want to see. Is there anybody near Beck or the other characters I've got the name of?
You take your pick. They're surrounded by elves at the moment.
I'll take a shot where Beck is. Somebody's about to jump on Beck, and I try and use my arrow that I've got out last turn and
pull off a shot.
Take the shot. No, that's too many. Hang on.
Just one.
Yep. Damn it, fail.
Pull off the shot. The arrow goes and out into the distance, where it lands at the feet of a small bird who stares at it quizzically. And I think that's it for that. So then we move on to the next round. That means everybody makes person rolls, please.
The success.
Success for me.
Is that successes across the board?
Looking great so far.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I got success as well.
This is the turning point. You've actually not only energised these people. They're coming up from the. Even the cooks come up with a rolling pin. They've literally just run up to the wall. This is absolutely unbelievable. There's a small cat with a flick knife. That's how bad it's got. They're literally just all rushing forward and just basically just doing whatever they can. You can hear them shouting "Helvendur!" as they come running forward up the steps. They all come in with whatever they've got to hand. There's a kid there with a plank of wood, beating what's already dead. They're literally just flying. That's bloody useless, kid. So they're literally just flying. They're literally just flying in, doing whatever they can. It's absolutely it's quite a sight actually. Which means we roll for them with their bonus, which means they do still pass because they've got a bonus from you guys. And then the elves rolled. Okay, at this point, a large shadow looms across everything, and a boulder comes over the wall. When I say boulder, it's about so big, probably about a metre in width, being fired by one of the catapults. It comes over the wall, smashes into the roof of the inner ward just behind you here, crashes through and comes out the other side and rolls along into the granary site just here. Smashes the walls down here, for the lower wall down. It's a hell of a hit. This emboldens the elves. They've literally got something behind them now. And also a wave of arrows comes flying over the wall as well around about the same time, which is never a good thing. In fact, I'm going to need you all to make nimble rolls. Whoever fails a nimble roll is going to get hit.
I'll go hit.
Okay, whoever failed a nimble roll, take 1 point off your wounds, or 1
Okay.
point off your armor if you're wearing some.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just this shot comes crashing through, and then a hail of arrows comes down. In fact, there was a slight warning beforehand, because suddenly, like an unspoken instruction, all the elves suddenly ducked down, and some of them put the shields above their heads. And at that moment, when you're thinking, "What's all that about?" That's when the arrows came hailing down on top of you all. It's not great. Let me just make a quick roll for your boys. Yeah, that's kind of put them off slightly. That's not what they were expecting. They thought it was going to be hand to hand, but little did they know that siege warfare doesn't work like that, and they should have actually read more at school. So Beck, you're up.
Okay. So like the guy facing off the shield.
Oh yes, so you're going to take another swing at him?
Yeah, like as a drama point. So like pull grab the shield, pull the shield to one side, and then try and stab in over the side.
You're going to grab the shield as well. In that case, then make a
Yeah.
nimble roll to grab the shield.
Yes.
Way.
Yes, you do. No, there's no way he's going to take any protection from that, and then you make your normal attack.
Nice.
Ah.
You pull the shield back and take a swing, but he brings his sword up and manages to sort of stop it at the very, very last second. Now he will make a swing back at you, but because you did so well with your nimble roll, you knocked him off balance against the shield. So his score now has gone up to 5.
Yeah.
Only hits, and not only that he does 2 points of damage.
Oh.
Try parry it. Is it too late? Parry or?
No, you can parry. You can parry after a
Yeah.
successful attack, but remember you will lose your last
That's quite
chance, whether or not you
Yeah.
you succeed.
Yeah. Well, hopefully if I can, because that's quite a hard hit. It would have been
No?
fine, but no, it's
No.
better.
Yeah, you take 2 points. What's your hit points on now?
I'm on 3.
Ouch.
That's pain.
So he brings the sword down. He's quite gleeful because he's managed to hit you. He brings the sword down and smacks into you. You've used up your 2 actions, of course. You grab and hold of the
Yeah.
shield and take the swing. But that's kind of emboldened him
Yeah.
slightly. Could this be the turn of the tide? And then you move to Caleb.
Caleb.
Sorry, we move to Caleb. Yeah.
He was just been caught in the impact of this boulder that's been flying across. So I imagine he's now pulling himself out of rubble and stuff like that, and standing up and shaking the dust out off of himself.
It's not a great sight.
Yeah, and as one of these elves is kind of coming leaping towards him, as you say, they're emboldened by this attack. He just instinctively kind of jams his spear out and tries to catch this guy on it as it comes for him.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, you sort of the rubble, and there's always it's mainly just sort of loose stone and carpentry and wood.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the word for wood. Then I came out with carpentry. Anyway, you got attacked by carpentry. So
oh
no, not the lathe.
Yeah,
So basically, it
it's
comes
still a bit
down on you.
shaken up, I think.
Yeah. Well, who wouldn't be? I got the word wood in there somehow. I don't know how that works. I may well wait. Try the veil. So the whole thing comes down and crashes down on top of you. You sort of get up and straight away you see the elf leaping through the air, coming down, flying down towards you. Basically, they're trying to sort of reinvigorate themselves and get back on the offense again. Your wall and the other wall are holding really well. It's just this tower that's not. So you make your attack.
Yeah, I failed that unfortunately, but.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, you bring the spear around, and unfortunately, Fo, you've got a second attack, second action.
I'm just gonna. I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use my action to invoke my special ability, which is the give anybody that attacks me a -1 for this round.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. Yeah.
Cool.
So he takes a swing at you then, as you go into, and he is that a -1? But he still hits. But at least he didn't hit you for critical. He hit you for 1 point of damage.
Right.
So he comes down. You sort of do your little shimmy, but he still hits you. But it doesn't actually do as much damage as all that.
Cool.
Is there anything you want to shout other than "Please don't kill me"?
I just an expletive, I think.
That's fine. Who wouldn't? And then we move on to Talon.
Right, I am turning with my lit flaming arrow, and I'm going to shoot the trebuchet.
Right. You see what? Well, the get all worm area is out of range.
Right,
still,
okay.
yeah, that's because it's huge. But you do have the towers and the catapults. Now, the
shoot.
one catapult is the one that's just shot over your wall. And you see that's been sort of rigged back down again.
I'm going to shoot the catapult. See if I can get it
Gotcha.
on fire.
Okay. You see actually. First of all, actually make a mind roll.
Oh God. Nope.
No? Okay. There's loads of stuff around this catapult. There's boulders, there's barrels, and all sorts of bits and bobs. But you see the actual catapult being pulled back down.
Yep.
It's a large target, so I'm going to give you a +1 to your dodge roll.
6.
It's a hit. You pull off the shot. Goes flying through the air. It slams right down into it. Roll a d6. You want to roll an even number.
6.
Yes, a good 6 as well. It slams where the rope is coiling. That's where the arrow lands, and the rope actually catches fire. And you see the elves around it getting a little bit panicky. And the one dives over to one set of barrels, and you can see one shouting at him not to do that. And he dives over to another and pulls like and they're all trying to get over to the burning rope. You have a second action. What would you like to do?
Archers! Flaming arrows on the towers and the catapults!
Okay, make a person roll.
No.
Nope. Again, these guys are still in dire straits, fighting against who they're fighting against. So some of them are really trying hard to get to the arrows in the buckets, but the elves just simply won't let them. And that's where we move on to Faldor.
Caleb, do I see Caleb looking worse for wear and getting a bit of an issue? So I've got my bow and I try and target whoever it is that he's fighting, just to try and help him out from range a bit.
Go for it. Pull off a shot, but if you roll a 1, if you roll a 1, if you fight into combat, so if you roll a 1, there is a chance that you'll hit Caleb. I'm so sorry, Caleb. So, Caleb, I need you to make a nimble roll.
Oh. This should be good.
I've got to say, to be fair, it was a good shot. Yeah.
Yeah. You know how Caleb always joked about I could catch an arrow with my teeth, but he just did.
sadly today he's tried to catch one in his butt cheeks because literally you pull off the shot, and he catches you right on the hip. You've taken another point of damage, I'm afraid, Caleb.
Okay.
Who the hell invited Faldor? But he doesn't get around it like him either.
Okay, well we're very close to our first change of character.
How many hit points you on?
I am on 1.
Oof. Yeah.
Felder, healing spell.
To be fair, it was your fault.
I will, but I'm tapped out at the moment, making my way towards him. So I have to wait for
arrows don't heal people.
2 more rounds. I am going to, as I'm still advancing with the other people, I'm going to dip my next arrow into some pitch.
There's those buckets of arrows and pitch. So your next action is basically getting an arrow and getting it lit. Yeah.
Yeah, just don't shoot it at Caleb.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot at a big square.
Or maybe shoot it at Caleb.
Wood thing.
Yeah. Okay, I need all of you to roll a d6, except for you, Caleb, because you just got shot by one of your own people. So people are a little bit weirded out by that. So everybody else needs to roll successes on their person. Oh, come on, one more 6. Come on.
Nope.
So no, sadly no. So yeah, they're still fighting, but they're not going to get any bonuses to their rolls this round. The wall is still holding. Your men have failed. Oh bugger! And the elves are doing really, really well. They're pushing. If elves basically win one more round of combat, then they will have taken this entire tower. Well, this entire part of the wall anyway. And then the chances are you can carry on fighting if you want, but the chances are you're going to have no choice but to fall back.
Yeah.
But you are trying really hard, and I'm really, really pleased and proud of all of you. So we move on to Beck.
So Beck's gonna try, like Karen, trying to take this guy down with the shield. So
well, you've lost your next chance to attack, didn't you? Because you tried to parry last time.
Yeah, so I'll try to withdraw. I could try to pull back to where Caleb is at the moment, like regroup, but also like help them.
Well, I tell you what, make a nimble roll, and if you pass your nimble roll, that'll give a negative to his attack roll.
Yeah.
But that's you breaking combat.
Yeah, that's success.
Passed, yeah?
Yeah.
Brilliant. He's going to have to roll 5 or more then. Oh,
Don't
shit.
come back here. The elven archers are apparently
Yeah.
able to shoot.
With human arrows, weird. Sadly, he still hit you, and he hit you for a critical.
Oh, no.
He actually hit you for 2 points.
Is that me or is that?
It's you, Beck.
I'll try parry again. Just.
You gonna try for parry? Go for it.
Yeah, just to try and hang in there.
Yeah.
I did. I
Yes.
succeeded.
Yeah. Okay. You managed
Nice.
to parry it. Again, you are going to lose your next chance to attack. I'm afraid. But
Yeah,
you
it's
have
better than
managed to
being
parry.
Very close.
Yeah,
to
that
me.
would have been a really bad hit. Yeah. So you're basically all around you. There's flame and there's dust and there's smoke. People shouting and screaming, and you're there having a bit of a one-on-one with this elf and sort of
Yeah.
parrying and thrusting and stepping back and hitting his shield and basically just not being very nice to each other on this day, the day of our Lord 1146. So Caleb,
So Caleb can see now that Beck is kind of come over and is fighting with this elf, and he's going to stagger forward and try and jam this spear into the guy's armpit.
gotcha. So which elf? The one fighting against Caleb,
The
yeah?
one fighting Beck, yeah, at the moment.
Sorry, I bet. Yeah, I do apologise.
Yeah.
Okay, make your attack. If you want to do a sneak attack, so make your nimble roll.
Okay. No.
No, okay, make a normal attack then.
No.
Oh, good. Sort of staggered forward. You got an arrow
He's
sticking
in a
out of
bad
your arse.
way.
Let's be
He's in
fair.
a bad way, yeah.
Yeah, you sort of stagger forward. You take the lunge, but unfortunately,
Yeah.
you completely miss. The elf that you were fighting against. Let me just roll. He takes an attack. Oh my god. Do you want to try and parry this?
Yes.
Go for it. Make your brawn.
Oops, I
Yes.
rolled that twice. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
No, it's good. You bring the spear up. You managed to stop his. You see it at the very last minute. You managed
Yeah.
to block it with the hilt of your spear. There's a shower of sparks actually, because I don't know, Star Wars. So
Yeah,
we move
why
on to Talon. It's getting strenuous now. I'm sweating.
Okay. I am
Come on,
being
Talon.
honest. I'm focused on the towers, not on the things around me.
Yep.
So I'm going to grab another arrow, flame it up, and
Yep.
shoot.
Okay, make a mind roll very quickly.
Yes.
Yes. By the looks of it, you can see one of the elves. Those barrels that are next to it. The lid's off, and he's got like a ladle, and he's scooping something viscous out, and he's pouring it over the boulder which they've now got in the. They've actually managed to put the fire out, and he's
Okay.
putting it over the boulder actually in the cup.
I'm shooting that then.
What, you're shooting the cup?
I'm
Or the-
shooting the barrel with a
The
flaming
barrel?
arrow. Yeah,
Okay,
shooting
let's
it.
go for it. Let's go for it, Vin Diesel. Make your shot. No? Okay, you pull back, you pull off the shot, and the flaming arrow just goes straight past the barrel into the ground and sadly misses. Your second roll? Your second action?
Shoot the barrel of oil!
Make a person roll, see if anybody takes any notice.
Yes.
Yes. One guy notices. He's already got a flaming arrow. He takes aim. He needs to roll a 5 or more to hit.
Yeah.
It's a 6. He sort of sees you, nods, sort of points down. The arrow goes into the flaming barrel of oil. It smacks straight into it. The oil itself suddenly just splashes all over as it goes up in flames. Splashes all over the front of the catapult, setting fire to the wheel, the front, and where all the ropes, where all the torsion is. Or the torsion? I don't even know what that means. Where the tension is all around the actual front of the catapult. The whole thing just goes up in flames. The elf behind is slightly shocked as the part of the rope snaps and it starts to go up, and the boulder itself just leaps out and then lands on the ground next to him. That's particular catapult. It looks like it's going to have difficulty.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Hey. So yeah, good shot. Remember that. Make a person roll. Actually, if you pass, that's going to give a bit of a bonus because you hear a cheer go up from the walls. Yes, well done. You hear a cheer go up from the walls as this catapult, then the front of it goes up into flames. Also, can you roll a d6 and please roll a 6? No. You rolled a 1. That's the complete opposite of 6, and that's not what I asked for. So now we're going to move on to Faldor.
Having seen the success of shooting the barrels, I too am going to take aim at a barrel that I consider to be something that might be helpful. I don't know if it'll work or not, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Okay, you see at the top of the towers, you see that there are elves there with these barrels of what they're only small, about so big. These particular ones,
Yeah.
but by the looks of it, they're using them like Molotov cocktails.
Yeah.
And you see they're getting them ready. Do you want to take a shot at one of them?
Yeah.
Pull off your shot.
Nah.
Is that a hit?
No.
The flaming arrow goes flying overhead. Yeah, unfortunately it misses as it disappears into the distance. What do you want to do with your second attack? Second action, sorry.
I am going to prepare another firing arrow, flame arrow.
Okay. Did you pass your person score earlier? Sorry, Talon.
Oh, Talon, sorry.
Talon, yeah.
Yes, I got a
did.
5.
A 5, that's it. Yeah, I see it. Okay. Right, okay, so that's going to give a bit of a bonus now that you set the catapult on fire. So, your boys,
Ooh.
it's a 6!
Yes!
And the elves, they failed! So, this is managed to start to pushing the elves back a little bit more now. You need to get another couple of those for the elves to be pushed back over the wall. You've done extremely well there, so then we move on to Beck.
Okay, so I was pulling back to. So I might try to think. What's Caleb's situation at the moment? Is he still Is he still duking out with someone?
Yes, he is. Yes, well, he just parried some guy next to him, and the guy who you were fighting against with the shield is still having a go at you.
Yeah.
So do you want to help out Caleb, or do you want to fight the guy that you're fighting?
I'll help Caleb, but I can't attack because I had to parry.
Oh god, yeah. So what is
Too
it
many
you want to do?
sixes in a row.
Yeah.
Is there something I could do to I don't know, at least throw the guy off that's bothering Caleb? I'm not entirely sure. I try to use an item, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that's not an attack. I don't know. What I could try and do is maybe pull Caleb away.
Yep.
Grab the back of his armor or whatever and try and pull him behind me.
Okay, make a nimble roll.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, brilliant! That's going to give you a +1 to your pay.
Yeah. You go flying back over the rocks and take 1 point of damage.
You go pulling him back. This elf takes a swing at you, and the elf misses as you pull Caleb back. You've still got a second action.
Can I defend? Is that like a defensive fighting thing?
You can go into defense. It'll just give you a bonus in the next round.
Yeah.
To any parries. Yeah.
Because I can't
You go into
attack.
defense.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, brilliant. In that case, then we move on to you, Caleb.
Whose vision is kind of blurring at the moment, I think.
Yeah, you're badly wounded. Then
just
suddenly
been
somebody
kind
grabs you from behind and pulls you backwards.
Yeah. Yeah. I attack whoever it is that. No. I think as he's doing that, he's going to try and. He's got a spear, which is quite a long weapon, isn't it? So he's going to try and strike out with that as he's being dragged backwards.
You made a parry last round, though, didn't you?
I did. You're right. I cannot
So
do that.
so you can't make any attacks, I'm afraid.
In that case, I will do exactly what Beck is telling me to do.
Okay. You go staggering backwards. He's basically trying to pull you back out of combat because this is looking pretty bad. The elf takes a swing at you but completely misses. So you basically got your attack back.
Nice.
That's pretty much. Yeah. So say again, sorry.
Spear or something. If Caleb's got a spear or something, at least it'll have potentially reach, so he could try and poke them around me. So I'll try and
I can't attack at the moment.
Yeah. But I mean, in future,
I can. Yeah.
I was about to say, you both got your attacks back next round, so yeah.
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 I'll
in
do
that case,
go
straight onto Talon.
I'll block. Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, Talon.
Okay, I'm looking at a flaming arrow on the next tower. And if I
At the barrels,
Yes, at the barrels.
Brilliant. Make your roll.
3, yes.
Is that a hit? You pull off the shot. It goes slamming into the barrel. Please roll another d6 for me.
5.
Ooh.
Perfect. You pull off the shot. It goes slamming. The elf is literally picking the barrel up, and they're literally lighting the end of it, getting ready. I was doing a cigarette lighter then. They're literally, get me a Zippo. Yeah, that's how well advanced we are. He basically picks it up, sets fire to the top of it, starts lifting it up. And as he lifts it up just above his head, your arrow, if I may, goes smacking into it, into the barrel, not his head. It splits it apart, sprays everywhere, and literally the top of the tower literally just erupts in flame into a fireball. The whole thing just goes up. Burning elves jumping off the sides, little whistling bits of debris flying in different directions. It's cinematic, I know, it probably wouldn't happen in real life, but this is much better. And the whole top of the tower literally just bursts into flames. A huge cheer goes up throughout the entire wall. That's going to give a massive bonus to your next roll. So please, what's your next action?
Burn them all!
make a person roll.
Yes.
Yep. Brilliant. That's given the impetus. The archers have pulled back. You see them grabbing hold of flaming arrows, getting them burnt up, and they're all stepping forward. They even shoot them into the elves as they're coming over, and watch them fall down like burning elves. Well, not like it. That's exactly what they are. So they're literally stepping forward and just blasting away. That's where we move on to Faldor. Bits of flaming wood and parts of elves are falling all around you.
How many towers are left at these approaching
There's one tower on each section of the wall. So you've destroyed this one tower, well, the top of the tower. Where you were fighting, the other tower's still there, and then there's another tower at the far end as well, but they're being held off.
I'm going to take aim with my burning arrow and try and hit the one that's a little bit further off.
Okay, it's a little bit further off, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult because you are fighting through the flames. Don't worry about it. If you fail this time, I'm not going to shoot any of your mates.
Yeah, that's probably...
So, yeah, pull off your shots. What is... basically, you're going to have a...
it doesn't really matter anyway, does it?
Yeah, you pull off your shot. It hits the tower, it just falls short a little bit, slams into the tower.
As I've been doing this, I have been, like, approaching with the crowd. Every time there's a cheer and a shout, I'm following in with the crowd, and I can see Caleb, and he's looking a bit worse for wear, and I'm going to... Because I've regained one of my spells, I think, at this turn.
Yep.
And I'm going to try and heal him with my spell.
Okay, make a mind roll.
Yep.
No. Sadly, you tried to cast, but there's a whole lot going on at the moment. You're a little bit confused. You're a bit pissed off that your arrow shell fell short. So, yeah, there's quite a lot going on at the moment. You tried to cast the spell, but you just cannot bring the words to mind. It's an absolute nightmare. Everybody roll your d6s.
Can we take
against
a break
person
at some point soon?
We get literally right after this, yeah.
This moment.
So that's 3 successes.
Yeah.
65. Excellent. This is perfect for these guys. I'm going to give an extra +1 to your guys' score, but they get an extra +1 with the +1 that you've already just given them, so they get a +2. So they've actually succeeded on that.
Yay.
And then the elves. The elves are still holding. The elves are still holding. Yeah. But then, without warning, another huge shadow falls across the entire battlements. Dear. And that's, I think, it's a good time for a break.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Good take.
Just fired an actual dragon.
Oh, that's a good idea. Hang on a minute. Let's write that down.
We'll take a quick
okay,
break.
so take a break for about 10 minutes,
10 minutes, yep. And we'll be back very soon. Cheers, everybody.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Hello. We're back.
Hello.
Back
Hello,
to this.
everyone.
Back
Hello.
To this madness. Woohoo. This is fast-paced. Yeah, straight back over to you, John.
Okay, thank you. I thought I might up the stakes a little bit. So
why not?
Because I'm a bit bored. I don't know about you guys. So, a huge shadow falls across everything, and for a moment, there's like a rush of wind. It's a bit weird. Everything, all the ash, all the smoke, and sort of embers and all sorts, and cloaks and hair, especially people with goatees and long hair, all gets sort of swept out as this huge. Well, it's never going to get old. Just accept it. That's your life now. So it's just a huge.
It's never going to get old.
I know. I just had to slip it in. Yeah. I've been trying to say that for the entire first 2 hours, and there, finally got it in. And I'm so happy you noticed it. I would have been well pissed off if you just gone, yeah, what then? Yeah. You know what I mean? So anyway.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. The first day what's left of your life.
That's it. I'm done now. Don't worry about it now. I've pretty much peaked. So I don't even know with that. So anyway, there's a huge whoosh of air. Everything gets billowed out, and it's a little bit disconcerting. There's a massive shadow, and this shadow is basically a wyvern. It is absolutely huge, massive long wingspan. Its head out. It's cawing at the top of its voice like a really deep-throated crow. It's really trying to, but there's like a heavy bass to it. You can actually feel it rumbling in your chest as it literally just roars. On its back is an elven man in elven armor, dressed very similar to the captain guy that you killed earlier. However, It goes blasting over the top, and it sort of screeches down. You see its claws come down. It drags across the top of the roof, but doesn't. But it actually retracts at the last minute before it actually hits any of your troops or even you. And he literally just pulls the wyvern around and sort of circles around. And you see him holding up a spear, and there's a long white pennant hanging off the spear. This is as the fight is raging around you.
The white pennant, is this like a parlay kind of thing going on here?
Yeah, as we normally do in this age, the white flag of not surrender, but of we want to have a bit of a chat. It's basically the fantasy version of a message request.
Somebody should answer that.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't recognise the user. Screw him. Straight into spam.
New pennant, who dis?
Oh no.
They bring flag of peace. They want to parlay.
Parlay, is that an elf word?
You might want to tell these bastards.
We'll do one more round of this combat very quickly. So, Beck, what are you up to? You've literally dragged Caleb behind you. And now you're both sort of almost back to back. You both got your attacks back as well, remember? Yeah,
so I'm going to take a swing at the elf I'm facing.
Okay, go for it.
So we're going to take him down. It is a hit. Just a regular one.
Excellent, it's 1 point, and that's enough to do it. He was already wounded.
Nice.
So you take the swing, you sort of go past his shield, you cut down into his chest. Well, you tell me, how do you hit him? How do you take him out?
I think carrying on from like the momentum of like pulling Caleb back.
Yep.
Puts energy into like his right arm.
Yep.
And then uses that momentum to sort of like do like a half turn and then like slams into his shoulder over the shield.
Yeah, you literally slice through him, his chainmail splits apart, as does the padding underneath it, and he goes staggering back, he drops that very fancy shield onto the ground, he goes staggering to his doom. You've got an extra action.
Keep your eyes to yourself. I'm going to pick up the shield.
Okay, yeah, you pick up the shield, it's very light in your hands, and it seems to, not a life of its own, but it feels like it really is trying to protect you. As you
need to do the mind power
scooping it up. Actually, he's dead anyway. But
no, it doesn't make any difference now. But like,
no. So then we move on to Caleb.
Yeah, who's kind of fallen back behind Beck now, and he's seen this thing fly overhead, and the pennant, and there's like an elf that's kind of standing in front of him, I guess now. Basically he's going to point up to the wyvern, and as the guy looks up, I'm going to jab him in the throat with a spear.
Yeah, makes sense. So make a person roll first of all.
Okay.
It's just like the elven version of your shoelaces untied.
I made it. Yeah,
you passed it. So you can make your attack. I think he sort of sees you. Of course, he's seen the wyvern. As you point upwards, he sort of looks up. He's slightly shocked at this big winged lizard blasting overhead with one of his own on the back.
Yeah.
He seems really surprised by it. But yeah, you can make your attack now, and you get a +1 to your score. +1 to your roll, I should say.
And I hit.
Yep. And you hit for 1 point of damage, and that's enough to do it. He sort of looks up like, what the... and straight for the neck. He goes at the back of his... And he sort of gurgles as he sort of drops to his knees, and he pulls the spear out, and he falls down quite dead. You've got a second action?
I think... just Caleb being Caleb, I think he's going to step back, maybe partway down the steps in the tower, just so that he's kind of in cover from this wyvern. I mean, he's seen the pennant, but he doesn't trust these guys, so...
Yeah. Okay.
And that'll do me.
The wyvern's circling. Looks like it's looking around. It looks like it's looking for a place to land. And that's when we move on to Talon.
Flaming arrow at the pennant.
Okay. You shoot an arrow. You sort of take a shot at it. So yeah, we'll make you roll. You're shooting at the pennant or at the rider?
Pennant.
Okay.
No, I missed.
No, you pull back. You fire the arrow. The wyvern sort of tilts slightly as the arrow goes flying past them. The elf looks slightly offended at that, and as he sort of spins around and sort of looks down, and he's still holding the spear above his head, and looking
He's
a
not
little
with
bit.
us. He's not with us.
So yeah, what's your second action?
Shoot
Yep.
me, elf!
Make a person roll.
6. Oh no!
Everybody looks at you and goes, hmm. So yeah, no, but
You did a fail a roll.
yeah, they're all there going, what?
It'd just be like, Chief, if you parley, you can keep them busy long enough for the reinforcements to arrive, but then even more elves will die.
They're all stood there at the moment, just going, but you just told us to shoot at the towers. What does this guy want? I don't know. We need to join a union. So basically, yeah, the shot goes flying past him. Unfortunately, you completely miss, and people are too busy fighting against their own enemies to listen to your instruction. But then that's when we move on to Faldor. You're muted.
Yeah, you muted, mate.
Actions, can I prepare another fiery arrow to fire at one of the towers?
Yep.
So one action is the preparation and the other one is to shoot.
It's the shooting, which means you won't be able to cast any healing spell if you do that.
I think I was out anyway, so...
Oh, cool. Oh no, because you failed your last roll, so but you can still cast it again. You only lose that spell slot, so to speak,
Got you.
if you actually successfully roll
In that case, I'm going to try again to try and...
to
heal,
cast. Yeah. Okay.
Caleb,
Make you roll
because he looks like he's in dire needs of it getting
against
help.
mind. Oh my god, are you trying to kill him? Come on, if you don't like him, just be honest, yeah? So anyway, you cast the spell, nothing happens sadly, but
Right.
you still have a second action.
It's that shield that Beck's walking about with, it's gotten away. And I prepare a flaming arrow, just because
Okay.
I'm just in case. I'm gonna just get
Okay.
it ready.
Okay, everybody make your person rolls for this round.
4, that's a success for me.
Yeah, I got a
3
success.
successes, so they get a +1 to their roll. Well done. So your boys, yeah, they pass because they got a +1, and the elves, they fail miserably. Yeah, they're a little bit disconcerted. You need to win one more round of this, and that's pushed the elves back over the wall. So that's left the elves a little bit disconcerted. They don't quite know what's going on. They've seen the wyvern go overhead, and they're thinking, "What the head is all that about? What's he doing?" They see him looking a little bit confused and worried. But the ranger's taking a flaming arrow shot at the wyvern. So let's see what decision he makes. You don't want me to roll 4 more, and he doesn't. So he's carrying on, basically trying to get your attention. You see him circling high above. He's shouting something in Elvish, possibly, but you honestly can't understand the word he's shouting. You can't tell if he's shouting it at you or if he's shouting it at the elves coming over the wall. But that's when we go back to Beck.
Yeah. They're not with us either.
I've never seen him before in my life, officer. So, Beck.
Okay, so Caleb, you still facing off against this other guy?
No,
No, we
he's
took him
dead,
out.
I think.
No, I
Yeah.
took him out. Okay.
You both took out
Yeah.
the guys that you were fighting.
Yeah, so okay, so we're gonna move to engage, like to try and push them back to the wall.
Brilliant. Okay,
Um,
you move forward. An elf comes running forward with a double-handed sword. Quite a wickedly long double-handed sword, and it's like more like a bastard sword. Because when you hit it with somebody, they go, "Ow, you bastard!" So anyway, he comes running in. He's going to take a
You're
swing.
not my real dad. You bastard.
In that particular
That's how that works.
blade.
So I'll try and like preemptively try and block the
Yep.
sword of the shield, and then try and come in and hack at him.
Okay. Well, you
Don't have
get
enough hands
automatic.
for all these weapons. Yeah.
Yeah. So make you roll to attack. Which is that a hit?
That's a hit. It is a hit.
It is?
And then I'll do a mind roll because I remembered this time.
Yep. Go
The
for it.
sword, which is missed by 1.
No. So you hit him for 1 point. So that's not bad. So that's hurt him. He comes swinging in with his attack. And it's a complete miss anyway. He's a little bit shocked that you're standing there with his captain's sword in one hand and his dead mate's shield in the other. And thinking, do I really want to be here? I know what those fuckers can do. So yeah, he's basically come flying in, and he takes a half-hearted swing and completely misses. You got any other action?
I don't know, can I try to fight defensively just to have a bonus
Yep.
parry in case?
Sure. Okay. Yeah, you can just set yourself up
Another-
defensively. So yeah, you
Yeah.
get a +1 to your roll to parry it in the
If
next
Caleb
round
wants
if you
he
have to
can come
parry.
behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Caleb.
And that's when Caleb, he kind of steps out from the tower and jams a spear in this guy that Beck's fighting while
Yep.
he's not looking.
Okay, make a nimble roll.
Okay. That's a pass.
Brilliant. So make your attack as normal, and then yeah, you can do an extra point of damage by blindsiding him, basically.
And that's a miss.
Okay, so you very nimbly get into a position to actually do extra damage, and then don't hit him. So you need to make your mind up about exactly how you're going to perform in this entire situation. So what?
This is my problem, I have to admit.
We didn't need to go that far. Just want to let you know this isn't a therapy session. We're just here to kill shit, yeah. So anyway,
You said it wasn't a therapy session.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. Oh, by the way, we're live. Yeah, I forgot to mention that earlier.
Yeah. Caleb's there with a spear, being like, "Is this the right angle? Is this dramatic enough? Is this like a good
Is it long enough? Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, you take the you try to get into position. So that's your two actions basically. Get into position, taking the swing. Unfortunately, you miss.
I figure his
an
vision's
elf
still blurring a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. An elf not far. Oh no, you made your nimble roll, didn't you? So yeah, you kind of not in the shadows, but you're out of harm's way. So we move on to Talon.
Can I shoot the elf that's on the wyvern?
Yes, you can with a normal shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, pull off your shot. Okay. You shoot yourself. No, you pull off the shot. The arrow goes up, turns around, and goes straight back down again. Oh my god!
I shoot
Physics! Curse you, gravity! So no, close your mouth. But yeah, no, it's you take the shot. It goes flying past him. The elf. Yeah, the elf kind of like. It looks like he just gives up. He's trying to get your attention. He's waving this white pennant. Somebody's taking two shots at him. He circles once more and then heads out, but not in the direction of the army. He heads out in the completely opposite direction, just flies away. You have a second action?
I'd spend that action considering the error of your ways.
Kill the elves! Kill the elves!
Make a person, well, probably not the best person of choice and to lead the fight against elves. Bloody hell, yeah. So you sort of shout, kill the elves, and so they start killing elves because that's their job. So basically, yeah, you start shouting. Yeah, you manage to get people's blood up again. So
is it supposed to be frothing at the mouth?
That would go. Yeah, your eyes roll up to the back of your head, and you start shouting for more tablets.
Which
But no,
is
you
just
basically.
what you want in your leader, right?
Yeah. You're doing really well. You are my favourite. So basically, yeah, you start blasting away. You sort of shout and scream. People, that gets their blood up. The elves, again, like I say, have been pushed back slightly against the wall. They're literally up on the wall now. One good push and they're back over. That catapult's not firing anytime soon. That tower's on fire, and the tower at the far end is on fire as well. In fact, let's have a look at how well the other two walls are doing. Now, the far wall. Oh, the far wall's still holding quite well against the elves. The wall that you just left. That's your boys. Oh, that's kind of even Stevens. So they're kind of holding against each other. They're still holding your position. So yeah, it's just this area really that needs proper defending. So we're on to Faldor now.
I am getting really pissed off with not being able to heal somebody because that's what I'm supposed to be able to do. I'm putting my concentration into this, and I'm going to shoot the arrow that I prepared. No, I'm going to
just kill him. Screw this noise.
Yeah, just put him out of his misery, and then you ain't going to worry about the healing.
I am anti-mage.
We're trying to heal him again. 4.
Go for it.
Excellent.
Is that a pass?
That is a pass. Yes. That's
Brilliant.
A 1 over.
Caleb, you get 1 wound back.
Oh, thank you very much for that.
Was it worth it? And then you get a second action, Faldor.
I can't remember. I think I prepared an arrow the last time. Did I?
Yes, you did. Yes.
So I'm going to shoot that. It's so long ago. I'm going to shoot that. Is it a big group of elves? It's just elves. So if I do actually miss them, it's not going to cause too much problem.
He's just going to go for a random shot, yeah?
This is going to be what you worry about that.
Just teach Caleb the meaning of easy come, easy go.
Yeah, I hit you for absolutely. 1 hit point and hit you for 2.
So I'm just going to help. I'm just going to, at the back of the group, I'm just going to send a flaming arrow into the back of them because I'm not going to be able. I realise I can't hit for shit, so I might as well not bother.
Just make your roll then. I'll give you a +1 to your roll.
Hey, I hit for shit. There you go.
Yay!
The
You hit
arrow
something.
also lands randomly in the crowd and somebody's on fire.
No, it landed randomly in the crowd, and somebody tripped over it. No, you basically pull off the shots, and yeah, you do hit an elf who's standing on the wall because they're basically trying to. They're not trying to retreat, but they're being pushed into a bad position. He fumbles his nimble completely, and he staggers backwards and falls back and off the wall.
Is he on
and down
fire
to
as he's falling down?
Yeah, screw it.
Excellent.
He goes falling down like a small, tiny, flaming Denethor, and basically just disappears down at the bottom. Big dramatic pullback, the music, the works.
Excellent.
So lucky shot. So yeah, very, very dead. So that's when everybody makes person rolls. Let's see if we can get a decent bonus and push these elves off the
6
wall. That's
from
one.
there.
That's 2 passes.
Yes!
Come on, yes. So that's 3 out of the 4 passes. So we rolled. Okay, well, no, 3's fine. Thanks, Beck. You are busy, to be fair, Beck. So, so roll your guys with a +1. So your boys roll 6. So basically, you don't want the elves to roll a 6. Ah, nuts. So they are literally holding it stalemate at the moment. So if you guys can win one more round, you've pushed these elves back over the wall. And the fight rages on. It's just the sun's well up now. It's well into morning. So the cockerels are crowing and obviously watching. So back to Beck.
I'm going to carry on the attack.
Okay, there are more elves still there. You're going to have to actually advance to engage them now. They'll all pull back to the wall. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah, let's go take him down.
Go for it. You go charging into the first elf.
Yes.
It's a hit. Do you want to make a mind roll?
Yes. Come on, brains. No, brains have disappointed me yet again.
Gotcha. So you hit him for 1 point. So you go charging in.
Stupid brain.
He takes a swing back. Oh, that's not rolling. There we go. He takes a swing back. Oh no, and he misses. He sort of steps forward. He takes a swing back. Yeah, and he completely misses. You got another action?
I thought the move. I would assume the move would have been. I don't know.
Of course, yeah. You actually moved.
I had to move to engage.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll call that was your first action. So yeah, you go flying and you smack him on. He takes a swing back. You knock the blade back. Caleb.
Caleb's gonna he's gonna rush forward with Beck, and he's gonna swing the spear in front of him and try and hit as many of these guys as he can in one go.
Okay, this is and this is what I'm gonna do.
You can divide your damage between 5 people.
Yeah.
This is, for every extra target you go for, I'm going to reduce your brawn by 1, and you can roll against it. Yeah. Each individual one. So if you've got a brawn of 4, and you're going to go for 2 targets, then you roll your d6 twice, but your target is actually 3. Sorry, your target is actually 5. So your brawn's going up in for every extra target. So what's your brawn at the moment?
It's 4.
It's 4. So you can engage an extra 2 targets and go for a full 3 targets, but you can roll the d6 3 times, but you'll have to roll 6 on each roll. That makes sense.
It does. And that sounds
unlikely enough to succeed.
That's what I'm going to do it because why not?
Yes, good.
1 times, yeah.
So 1 million things happen 9 times out of 10.
That's 1 hit. You got to roll 3 times. Yep.
That's
1 miss. He ducked that one.
We'll flip it.
So the last 2 guys gracefully died, but you did hit one of them. So that's good for 1 point. So yeah, you go swinging on a massive arc. You actually force the 2 back and out of combat. So, but the first one, you slice right across his midriff. He was like, "Oh no, my trousers!" And he basically just goes staggering back. No, he's in a pretty bad way. He's actually cut his belt. Actually, he can't walk properly. His trousers falling down. So anyway, you've got because you're doing a massive swing action like that. What I'll also say is that's taken up both your actions
that's
to make
fine.
it be
Absolutely.
wide cut. Yeah, okay, no problem at all. So, Talon.
What is left around us to
the elves? Going back to the map on the main thing. This is where you're fighting at the moment. Boom.
Yep.
The elves are being pushed back to the wall around about here. So you guys are fighting around about in this area.
I'm going to shoot one of the elves that's right by the wall in the hope that I hit him and he falls back over the wall and causes a bit of despair for his fellow elves.
Okay, good thinking. Okay, pull off your shot.
Yes.
Yes, it's a good hit. You pull off the shot, it goes slamming into his chest. He has to make a nimble roll of 4 or more, and he doesn't. Again, he fumbles completely spectacularly, and he sort of leaps theatrically off the no, he doesn't. He just falls off the top of the battlements, off the parapet, and just disappears down. In fact, because he rolled a 1 on his fumble, he does take out a couple of guys on the way down as well, which doesn't help. And you hear the massive crashing sound and people shouting and screaming just out of camera. So you've got a second action.
Kill the elves or they kill your children.
Make a person roll. I'm not even going to ask you your second action now. I'm just going to assume you're going to shout something offensive. Did you pass?
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant. Again, you're going to get another decent plus to your roll. When you make your person roll at the end of this round, you get a +1 to your roll. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Which will help. So yeah, it's so you shout out, and again, more people start surging forward to push the elves back, and then we're on to Faldor.
I'm gonna. That's a normal shot. I'm just looking around again. Looking at somebody on the wall. That's just climbed over. They've just jumped over. They've got their sword. They're about to strike somebody. I don't know who it is. And I just take my show and shoot them at relatively close range. I couldn't possibly miss.
You know. Do you want to go and get a cup of tea or something?
I'll just sit here. I might as well. I'm really enjoying the show. So
make me one while you're at it.
Yeah. It's okay. We've got a participation ribbon for you at the end of the fight.
He's healed a hit point.
Yeah.
So anyway, you fire the shot. He goes sailing over his shoulder and disappears down to the crowd. Actually, roll a d6.
Uh-huh.
Don't roll a 1.
No. Oh well. So if you roll a 6, you hear this plaintive "ow." So yeah, it disappears over the wall, unfortunately. But you do have a second action.
Yeah. I am going to shout some encouraging words because that's about all I've got left to do. I think.
Go on. I'll give you a bonus to your roll if you shout something exceptionally good and enthralling, Aragorn style. No pressure.
They are falling, and we will make them fall farther and farther until they end up into the ground, and they will plant the seed of our future life for all of humanity.
10 seconds.
Very brilliant. Make you roll. Oh! Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, oh my God, that Seed of Humanity speech, they're going to remember that for generations to come. There are bards who are right there right now saying, fuck this battle, I'm going to write it right now. And they've buggered off down to the basement and they're scratching away, actually fighting for independent rights. It's absolutely shocking.
We don't know what it means.
Does that mean we get a negative on our next roll?
Yes.
We've lost a few men.
They don't care about that anymore. Not after the Seed of Death life speech. Anyway, basically, nice one, JFK. So basically, you shout this out. And the guys surge forward. So at the end of this round, when you make your person roll, you get a +1 to your roll.
Hey.
So actually, can everybody make their person rolls?
3.
So how many successes did we get?
1, I think.
Yeah, I failed.
I got a success.
Oh no,
You got a success, yeah.
I got a success.
Yeah, remember you got a +1 there, Croy.
Yeah, I still failed. I rolled 2.
Yeah. Okay, so you're not going to get a bonus. So basically, you just need your guys to roll better than the elves right now.
Okay.
So they roll.
Screw it up, boys.
It's gonna happen.
Oh, they roll a 3. So the elves must roll a 1 or a 2 for you to win this part of the battle. They roll a 1! So brilliant, fantastic. So basically, you do this cheer. The guys have already got the momentum from previous speeches because let's face it, your last one was great but non-effective. They come rushing forward, and literally the last few elves are being pushed off with, like I say, brooms. There's a guy got in there with a sock full of belly of balls. He's smacking them around the head. They literally go blasting off the walls. He said the towers start to fall, and all down the wall and all across here, it's just a massive upcheer because you literally see this wave of elves. All bloodied, all staggering, all carrying each other, and they all go moving back towards where the range shot was, and you see them all pulling back. There's a horn blasting, and it's literally calling the elves back. as they start retreating, and the guys at the walls are going bananas. Well, there's no such thing as bananas here, so they are literally going potatoes. They are shouting at the top of their voices, swords in the air, spears in the air, and they're all shouting, and they're all crowding around you guys, patting you all on the back, and sort of the three cheers, and they're all shouting, and it's ecstatic. The feeling across the wall is one of ecstasy and relief as they all start pulling back.
In the words of my brave commander.
Get off my lawn!
You're right, John.
Sweet Jesus. Oh, mate. We're in my Dungeons and Dragons t-shirt now. Oh, mate. Oh. Anyway. I can't drink any more of that. I've just spat back into the glass. That's disgusting. I can't. You just ruined the last of my milk
You
coffee.
don't want
Thanks.
backwash. No.
It's gone up my nose. So anyway, well done. Sorry. Anyway, well done. That better come out. It's your fault. So, okay. So they've all gone pushing back towards the rangefinders, the ranging shot, and they all disappear. They're all limping and sort of pushing back. Like I say, your guys are going absolutely nuts. It's absolutely fantastic. The sun is high in the sky. The heat is beaming down on you. It's like the creator, the Lord of the True Faith himself is smiling down upon you. But then you hear somebody from the tower sort of point, going, "Look!" And you see the Gettlewormir, and it's almost fully retracted. The dragon's head, the front weight of the trebuchet, is in the air, and it's and they're all sort of shouting. The cheers slowly start to die down. And there's an expectant hush, and all you can hear is the moans of the wounded and the screams of the dying, and all across the battlefield, from both across the battlements of your guys and the elves, and all the ones lying dead down on the field in front of you and down in the ditch in front of you. This really weird sense of expectation of something daunting, something major is going to happen, and you see the head, like I say, of the Gettlewormir is in the air, which means they're loading one of their huge balls. Excuse me, got into carry on terms there. So it's looking a little bit decidedly dodgy. And then you also see the Lord. I can't remember the guy's name now. Lord Senmund, the guy who employed you. He's being carried off the battlefield. He's got a sword. He's got a knife in the shoulder. He's got an arrow here. You can't even tell whether he's conscious or not. He's being carried down the stairs very urgently and out of the battle. So is his second in command, who's lying dead. They've turned him over. He's got a sword through his back. It's coming out of his throat. He's looking quite surprised, as you would if you got stabbed in the back. So it's the mood suddenly starts to quiet and starts to die down very, very slowly. And amazingly, because of the work that you've done on the mid wall and on this wall, all faces turn to look at you as if they're waiting for instruction. Somebody shut him up.
Yeah.
If the Lord dies, we
need to clear the wall. Yeah. But I mean, we could sort that with the Sinestral probably. But we should clear the wall before they're gonna make an assault on the walls with that giant trebuchet thing. I'm guessing it's within our longbow range.
The Gettlewormir, no, it's well out of your longbow range.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
So
you see the head drop.
The
arm
clear
comes
the
up.
walls. I'm gonna try and breach the walls.
Trebuchet flips, and like this massive boulder, it's almost like it's been covered in steel plates. It glints off the sun as it goes blasting through the air. It goes sailing through the air. You can almost hear it like a roar as it comes. Looks like there's also pennants and those hollow long sort of like wingsock flags. They're attached to it, so it comes. It's like a comet. It comes blasting through the air, and it goes it goes over the castle and over the far wall and slams into the ground so hard it buries itself deep and digs a long trench in the ground on the far side of the castle. It completely misses. Or did it?
They're range finding, yeah.
In fact, they just carved a hole through our reinforcements.
There's lots of small
As that
elves
happens,
inside.
you actually see the Gettlewormir being pulled backwards very, very slowly.
I mean, we don't have any.
We don't have the numbers to advance.
What is it you want to do? What do we do?
Do we still have elves on the wall? Or they'll be pushed back.
They've all been pushed back. They've all gone over the wall now. They're all retreating back to the bow line.
Probably
Yeah, let's get rid of their ladders and their ropes,
prepare
and then we
for
may need to
breach.
pull back from the walls because they're going to breach the walls if they hit.
Yeah, I'm shouting.
Well,
"Prepare!"
by the looks of it,
Yeah.
they're being pulled straight back. If the actual boulder had actually hit, going back to the map, it would have hit right here.
Yeah.
So that looks to be where they're aiming
Yeah.
for.
The passage.
Behind
okay.
the great hall.
So yeah, we should get people off that wall.
Yep.
They were shouting.
The towers
yeah.
on the other side.
Yep.
And clear
the
that
Yep.
clear that line. Yeah.
You saw the guy
Close it.
with the pennant, right? You saw that.
Yep.
Yeah. Is he still there?
Maybe,
No, it's
maybe
fine.
they want to. Maybe they want to
No.
talk. Maybe they want to talk. We could.
I mean, I
Finish it
think it's
right
too
out.
late for that option.
They
We can
won't-
send, who are we going to send out with a white flag?
This
on a
is
dragon.
the last bastion of.
should we send the commander out with a white flag to parley?
Fowler, you're the brains. What do you think? What should we do?
Their only objective is to wipe us from the face of this earth. We cannot give any quarter to them. We must defend. Prepare to breach. Prepare for. And then look up to see where they are, and just echoing.
You see the getaway has stopped and the head is starting to go up again.
Yeah.
Clear the walls between the towers.
Okay,
Yeah.
I need you, Faldor. Can you make a person roll, please?
I can.
You did. Not understanding exactly why they're following your order. You're some dude in a dress, and so basically they just looked at you and they're sort of like, they all look at each other, but they can see what's coming. So yeah, they all start pulling back from that part of the tower quite quickly.
Cool. And I guess we get down, make our way down the stairs into the courtyard.
Yep.
I'm going to sling an elf's body off the battlements. Clear the dead!
Cool, blimey, mate. You're going to need some serious sit down after this. So yeah, you Can I suggest chamomile tea? So you sling the body off. It goes crashing down. Some of the guys that are with you sort of help. As you're sort of heading down, are you all heading? Whilst that's happening, are the rest of you heading down to the courtyard?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
clear the wall. Yeah.
You're literally having to step over bodies, elven and human, man, woman. There's some very, very young men. In fact, sadly, Caleb, you step over the body of Mr. Shaky. His helmet's he's obviously been stabbed. His eyes are wide open. He's looking shocked and terrified as you step over him. He's obviously gone down fighting though. That much is obvious. As you head down the steps and get down into the courtyard, the large group of people that were there, they've all retreated now, looking very, very nervous. There's nowhere now for them to hide. They can go down to the dungeons if they want to. That's a completely different story in itself. Also down here, you see that there are ogres. They were obviously joined the fight as well. Ogres are about 8 foot tall, 8 to 9 foot tall, grey skin. They've got the usual ogre feature. They're dressed in kilts. They've got the sashes and this kind of. And wearing armor. They come down from the mountains. They do a lot of stonework. They're well known for their building prowess. They built a lot of the great fortresses all across Helvendur, all across Pageland or Cordwell as a whole. Actually, they also form their own mercenary groups, and they're ready to fight. They've got massive mallets in their hands, ready to fight. They don't talk that much of your language. Yeah, so yeah. So they're there. There's even some half elves. There's some dwarves sort of hanging about. So it's a massive mix of people and races, and they're all sort of getting from all over and all getting together as you come down. There's a couple of true faith priests there. They've got their incense burners, and they're walking around. They're doing this really deep sort of throated hum as they're walking around and basically casting the goodness of the creator across everybody to aid them in this fight. Of course, that's absolutely useless for the guys already dead. They're just hoping that some people will actually survive until the end of the day. So yeah, they're all gathering in the courtyard as you get down there. The mood is severely. There's like I said, that sense of relief of the fact that they pushed the elves back. That's been replaced now by a sense of impending doom. And people are looking at all of you, apart from Talon, who's chucking bodies off the wall, as you come down the stairs. And all eyes turn towards you. You, the guys that were having the success. You were the guys that were doing the fight. You were the most prominent on that wall. You were the guys that they're now turning to for possible leadership.
Which wall is Talon on?
Talon, you got to get down and join them.
Yes, I guess so. Yes,
Yeah.
I'll head down.
We should clear that line from the passage into the
Yep.
courtyard, just in case.
You got to give the order.
Yeah.
Will they listen to is the question. You go stepping forward. So, well, you tell me. What do you say?
We need to clear. Yeah. So we know the shot's coming in. We need to clear this. And he's gonna use his arms to kind of signal that because this line in from the passage and the porch. That's where we're expecting the rock to come through. So we need to make sure that we clear it of anyone who wants to be alive afterwards.
Yeah. So all the passage through the outer
get
wood
ready
porch
to-
to the
yeah,
side
and-
kitchen. Yeah.
Yeah, and to get ready to pile in the moment the wall break.
Yeah. Okay. Make your person roll.
Come on, no.
No.
Just
Not
one
that it
shot,
matters,
I think.
because you sort of give the speech, you sort of shout, "You've got to move this, blah, blah, blah,"
Yeah.
and people sort of milling around a little bit. And this older man, who's dressed as a soldier, has obviously been there, he's a bit blooded, he sort of steps
Yeah.
forward. Sort of looks at you a little bit quizzically, he goes, "The Lord's almost dead, who put you in charge?" And then you hear this massive chunk, and the boulder starts flying through the air, and he sort of looks up, and everybody sort of turns and looks and sees the boulder in the air.
Just be like,
And then he turns, looks at you, and looks at everybody else, and goes, "Clear the passageway!"
Get out
and
of
starts
the
running
way.
away, almost Muppet like, "Clear the passageway!" as they all literally just running in all different directions as the ball comes blasting through the air. You literally have one round until it strikes, so I'm going to ask you all to make nimble rolls, because when it hits, yes, it will smash exactly where you said it was going to smash through, but there's going to be
But it's
debris
gonna
flying
stop-
everywhere.
It's probably gonna feel like an earthquake.
I made mine. No, Father made his.
Yep.
I made mine.
Yeah, I made mine too.
Did everybody make nimble rolls? Yeah.
All made number
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. The boulder comes blasting through the air. It comes, like I said, it's covered in metal sheets. It's got these streamers flying behind it. It comes crashing down into that part of the wall, smashes through the wall, through the passageway, through the opposite door. The whole wall comes tumbling down. It goes blasting forward through the back. And it goes smashing through into the side of the kitchen and stables and into the tower at the very, very back. And it does so much damage that whole side of the tower just crumbles downwards, and the whole tower starts to topple. So I'm going to ask for a D6 roll, and if you roll a 1 or if you roll a 1, it's toppling into the
Oh, who wants that responsibility?
into the yard.
I'm not
So
touching it. I am not.
okay,
touching
so
it.
who wants to make the roll? By the way, if anybody failed their nimble rolls just
There you
now,
go.
you are going to take a point of damage from damage.
Two.
You roll
It's
a
going
two?
wherever
No, it
two
doesn't.
goes.
It's basically collapses down. It collapses down across the wall. So it collapses down
Yeah.
across towards where the side of the drawbridge is, just down here. The whole
The
tower
money
just
is-
literally comes crashing down, almost like badly fitted Lego bricks. Whole chunks of it is just falling off in different directions. There's men on top leaping off. The whole thing comes down. There's a massive wave of dust and smoke as it blasts in all directions. The sound is deafening. There's people running in all directions, screaming, shouting, calling for help.
Yeah.
The whole thing just comes down. And then in the background, as your ears are still ringing from that, you hear this massive roar, that strange banshee, part song, part scream, and the elves are now swarming down towards the hole that is in the wall.
Yeah.
What is it you want to do?
I think we're going to try and rally a few of the people to kind of fill
Yeah.
that gap, and we'll put
Yep.
as many people in there with sharp, pointy objects as we can. I think.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, Caleb's just shouting,
Yeah.
"Get
Form
in
a
there!
line.
Get in there!"
Everybody make your person rolls.
Hold the door! Hold the door!
I made
hold
it
the
this
door,
time.
Hold the door! Hold the
Yeah.
door! Hold the door!
No. No.
No. It's going to be
Keep your
2
West
rounds before the
Russian
elves get
nonsense to
there.
yourself.
Okay, so we
Yeah,
only
we
got
need
2
to-
successes.
I
Yeah?
got a success.
I got a success.
So we only got 2 successes
Yeah, I think so.
from all 4 of you. Yeah. Basically, after what's just happened, I mean, it's just stunning what's this weapon, but this Get All Wormir, you now understand why the castles fell so quickly. Just from one shot from the Get All Wormir has completely destroyed this wall, smashed through the courtyard and brought a tower down. People are terrified. Remember, a lot of these people now are farmers. There are old men, and they are old fighters and young fighters, inexperienced, and they should be out and harvest right now. It's just insane. And they're absolutely terrified. And now, not only is this boulder just smashed through the wall and brought it crashing down, or at least that part of the wall, there is now a wave of elves. Some of them still wounded from someone's got an arrow in his shoulder because somebody shot him. Nice one, Talon. You're still my favourite. And they're all basically just flying down jumping over the bodies of their fallen comrades. Swords up, shields up, spears at the ready, and literally just coming down and converging on this hole in the wall. Now, the men that are still on the wall up there are firing arrows down into them, doing the best that they can. They're chucking rocks, chucking spears, but it is literally flicking peanuts at a swarm of ants. You're going to do they are going to kill a few, but you're not going to stop the onslaught, only at the breach. Now, the Forlorn Hope have all come running forward at the very front of the attack. They've got their shields up, they've got spears, and they hope they can force their shields forward with the spears, almost like a phalanx, except they're charging, and they're all running forward. Like I say, you've got 2 rounds to rally the people to get to that gap before they actually reach the breach. Reach the breach. That's going to be the title of my new album. So they will literally just come flying forward.
Can I get somewhere that gives me some height over the passage? To
Absolutely,
shoot over just where I'll be heading up.
Okay. No
We
worries
try
at
to
all.
box them in and then bring in the ogres.
Yeah. Is that what you want to do? You can all make at this point.
Like, if we could all discuss it, I guess.
Yeah, well, at this, like I say, you've got 2 rounds. I mean, you can sit down and have a meeting if you want to, but I wouldn't suggest. So at the moment, what I would say is each decision that each one of you make now, you can make a personal roll, and that will depend on how many people go with you or follow your orders. So we'll start with you, Beck.
Okay. I'll try and box them in so we can get them just inside the walls, and then we can get everyone to just pour on them from our side.
Okay, make a personal roll.
It's success.
Brilliant. A whole bunch of people go following you, they go running forward. The ogres come with you as well. They've got their mallets, they come running forward, bang, they're literally thumping before you, sort of wooden style, and they're called running forward to hold the line. Caleb, what are you going to shout instruction-wise?
Caleb is basically grabbing people. He's kind of throwing them, pushing them out towards the breach, and he's shouting like, "Form a line, or we're all gonna die!" And he's just kind of pushing these people forward.
Okay.
Unwillingly,
Make a person roll.
No.
No. They're like, yeah, whatever, man. So you're shouting. Don't listen to that, guys. He's got a beard. I'm so sorry. I had to throw that in. So it's
And he's
old. You're not that old. So so you're sort of shouting, you're pushing people forward. They're sort of staggering forward, and they're slightly dazed. Their ears are still ringing. You see people with blood pissing out their ears and out their noses. They're covered in ash. So they're all like, what on earth is going on? You're trying to push them forward. You're trying to fill the breach. But Beck and his people, the group that he's got, and the ogres, they go flying forward as you're trying to push them forward. Talon.
Archers, get some height. Be ready your bows. Get ready to fire.
Cool. Make a person roll. Yes. The archers that are ready, and even the ones on the walls, can sort of hear your shouts and commands, even over the cacophony, if that's the word. And basically, you go flying forward, trying to get yourself some height to cover, shoot over the heads of Beck, who's moved forward with pretty much a shield wall. In fact, the ogres have picked up, like trestle tables. They've picked up those tables and they're using them like shields, and they're actually forcing their way forward. Because let's face it, that looked really cool on CGI. So they're all basically pushing forward, and then Faldor.
Do we have any other mages?
That's a good question, actually. Roll a d6, and you want to roll. Well, just make a person roll, and if you pass, then there is. What's your person
4.
score? No, sadly, no, there isn't. You're the only one there.
And I just say the rest of
But that makes you special.
the rest of the range up this side, and I begin to clamber up the rocks and try and get up to, like, I don't know, the top of the chapel, where it's kind of breathing up that side maybe, and looking down into the passage.
Oh God, he's going to be behind you guys with a bow.
Yeah. If it makes you feel any better, you're more of a priority target with less people around. So
then make a person roll for this particular thing, because that was a different.
Well, are you going to call people up there to help you?
Yeah.
Yep, make your roll, person roll.
That's a success.
Yes. That's a good success as well. So yeah, you get a load of people following up behind. There's like kids with slings there coming up behind you. Crossbowmen, archers, yeah, they're all following up behind you, and they're just basically just waiting. The ogres run to the front. They get to the front with everybody else. They're there with their shields, and they basically just clamp themselves down. They've got the mallets in their hands, and they're looking pretty pissed off because they didn't sign up for this. And they're ready for the elves for the onslaught to hit. You've got one more round before they hit. So, what is there anything else that you want to do before the wave of elves hits the wall? Well, hits the breach.
Are they close enough for us to have a shot at them?
Absolutely. If you want to throw a volley in, go for it.
Archers, fire!
Right, okay, you make your shot.
Yes.
That's a hit. Yeah, I'll just take it down as Mook's right now. So you pull off his shot, the arrow goes blasting and hits one of the leading phalanx guys right in the face. He falls down and he takes two or three guys trip over him, look a little bit embarrassed. And then the rest of your guys fire. And under your instruction, and it's a hit. A whole volley of arrows go flying over, and slingshot stones and spears, and the whole front line of the phalanx doesn't collapse, but it's really badly damaged, and they're all falling over each other. And the guys behind are all putting the shields up, and there's arrows sticking in shields, 300 style. They're literally just trying to push forward into this volley of arrows and stones. Anybody else want to do anything before?
Beck's gonna try and solidify the line. We got the ogres in place.
Yep.
But he's gonna try and organize the regular human folk. Get the shields up front, spears behind.
Yep.
And give them some vague structure to how they want to fight the elves.
Okay. Make a person roll.
And hope for the best. No.
Unfortunately, no. You're trying to get people organised and shout and scream, but over the noise and the shout and this massive volley of arrows coming from both them and from you as well, it's proving really, really difficult. And there's lots of rubble everywhere. People are tripping over the rubble and over carpentry, and so it's a bit of a mess. Caleb?
I think Caleb's he's gonna try a similar thing. Well, he's kind of hiding round by a wall at the moment. He's kind of just standing there trying to figure out what his next move is going to be, and then he thinks back to that poor kid that's up on the battlements, the one that he basically sent to his death earlier, and he sighs heavily and then runs to the front shouting, "Follow me!" and tries to kind of inspire people to kind of come and line up at the breach with him.
Make your person roll. I will give you a +1 to your roll.
Okay. And that just is it, I think.
You passed, yeah?
Yeah.
You go running forward, you got your speed, and the sheer passion, the grit on your face, you go rushing forward with the spear held high, and a whole bunch of people come flooding behind you as well. Just like, screw this, if he's going to go down, we're going to go down as well. Unwillingly. So, Faldor.
Yeah, the second volley from the range, the other group are ranged.
Okay.
Pierces out.
Go for it. Is it a miss?
It is a miss.
Yeah, and so sadly your guys miss as well. I mean, a few shots do go into the crowd and injure a few, but a lot of it's sort of making them think twice about just rushing in. But yeah, it's an ineffective volley. After the first volley, they're a bit more prepared now. They've got their shields up and they're sort of taking the shots. And then that's when the front line of the elves smash into the shield wall, literally just coming like a wave of silver and black. Smashes into the table. One of the ogres literally sweeps up with the trestle table, smashes them back, brings the mallet down, squashes one into the ground. These ogres are getting shots, they're getting stabbed, but they don't care. They just fight, they just carry on. And that kind of gives the guys around them impetus. The ogres are sort of taking the brunt of the attack. The guys behind as well, they sort of go in. I'm going to need everybody to make person rolls, please. That's 2. That's 3 successes.
Yes.
Come on. One more success.
Come on, you puny humans.
Oh, is that a success? No?
No.
Bugger. Okay, well, at least you get a +1 to the roll anyway. So, you guys... Oh, shit. So, you roll a 2, so you want the elves to roll a 1, really. Which they don't. That's really bad. They push forward and literally they force you all back into the cat. There's just no stopping them. It's like a wave, and one of the first ogres is literally overwhelmed, almost like he's got a wave of elves coming over him. Oh god! So they're literally just smashing into him. He goes staggering back onto the ground. You see swords and shields raising, literally like a mound of elves as they literally just stabbed him to death. The other ogre absolutely rages, and he doesn't care anymore. He goes walking forward, mallets coming down. You see elves flying off in different directions and smashing against walls, and then he just disappears into the cacophony. I keep using that word. He keeps disappearing into the maelstrom of armored bodies and swords. He just disappears into the mass. He's obviously, yeah, he just disappears. His mate's dead. The guys that surround them, they get overwhelmed and stabbed. You've got no choice after those rolls, unfortunately. It gets forced you back into the courtyard. You're now being forced back into the outer ward, so just past what's left of the porch. So you've got the gouge going through here, all the way up to the kitchen, and everybody's being pushed now into the outer ward. Where do you want to... Unfortunately, a lot of your guys are in full retreat. I'll give you a choice of where you need to retreat to.
Oh, I'm thinking the inner ward. We got to maybe. This is quite a narrow entrance, isn't it? That we.
Yeah.
So I think
that's the only way in.
Yeah. So I think we should fall back to that.
Okay.
It might be easier to defend unless they start firing big catapults at us. In that case.
Yeah.
What does everybody else think? I'm not in charge, so
yeah. If they got a shot off through the side of that like inner ward, that would probably obliterate everything.
The thing is, if people retreat back, then they're just going to get killed. So it's either stand and fight. We need to inspire them. We need to have our melee charge in. Lead the charge, Beck. Lead the charge.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Gonna try and like rally the guys around here, and then if we can get people up onto the walls, like the rear walls, they can still contribute with even just masonry at this point.
Remember, this tower here, the kitchen tower, was completely destroyed, and it's taken that entire wall there next to it out as well when the whole thing collapsed downwards. So the only walls you can defend off really is here by the northwest tower, and over here at the side of the drawbridge, which leads into the inner ward.
You just need to make a stand in the middle area. The Croy's archers are up here. My archers are up here. We just shoot them in the back. You just attack them.
We just have to hope for the best.
Yeah, it's just on the dice rolls and live or die.
Okay, so who wants to give the order?
That's pretty much
stand and fight.
Yeah. Stand and fight. But I'm not really a person's person. Like who's got? But I'll try anyway. I just
make you roll.
No.
No. Anybody else want to try?
Archers fire! Melee attack!
Yeah.
If you run away, we'll kill you all.
Oh well, I might do. I'm not too sure. I'm not very good at person stuff.
No.
Blah, 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 blah. In that Talon, make your roll, please. A person roll.
Yeah, 3. Yeah. No, I failed.
And I think then that's when I guess Caleb's going to shout for Helvendur, and he's going to rush forward. Then try and.
You're shouting for Helvendur, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll give you a +1 to your roll.
Right. Yay!
Right. Okay. You hold up your spear. You shout for Helvendur, and the cry goes up. It's almost like a rallying cry all across. Helvendur, blood or glory? Not both. So basically, they're just shouting across the echoes around. Faldor, do you want to shout anything?
I'm going to echo that, and I'm just going to try and get it into a frenzy.
Brilliant. In that case, then make another person roll, and you get a +1 to your roll.
Hey!
Yes!
Yes!
Frenzy.
Again, another everybody that's with you is like, Helvendur! And they start blasting their arrows down, and stones getting thrown, flooding down into the courtyard, and the battle is then taken to the courtyard. You are, because 2 of you failed your rolls there, you are being pushed back towards the inner ward. And so they literally just come flooding in, and the fight is just, it's literally just, everybody's just, it's just hell for leather. Everyone's fighting. Now, the people that are falling back with the crowd, is that Beck and Caleb, yeah?
I think so, yeah. I think everyone else is on the...
Everyone else on the walls, yeah.
So Talon and Faldor, you on the walls? Because not only... I mean, you can fight and shoot down into the crowds, but they will be trying to get up the wall towards you as well. Yep. Okay, so can you mark on the map where you are then? This part of the wall here in front of the passage, that's gone. So can you just do a quick mark as to where you are? So Stray, you're there. Croy's there. Brilliant, shooting down. So you're on the other side of the chapel. You other guys, Caleb and Beck, you are around about here now, as you slowly being pushed back as they all come flying through. So let's make a quick D6 roll to see how bad things are. So the human people, because 2 of you failed, I'm not going to give them a bonus, but they are standing and fighting, although they did roll 4, so they have passed. And the elves, Shit, they're all a 5. They're still pushing you back. They're still pushing back. They're still literally just swarming through now. I'm going to need both Talon and Helvendur. Actually, no, we'll come to you in just a minute. We'll go back into our normal circular. So, Beck, you're first. Basically, yeah, you've got elves come blasting at you. An elf comes flying towards you, sword held high. The rage in his face is almost, I mean, it's homicidal.
So yeah, I'm gonna go defensive and then lash out with my sword to try and
Gotcha.
slice him up a little bit.
If you go defensive, he's going to attack first. Oh shit, which one's me?
Mine was the one. So
gotcha. Yours the one. Okay, well, don't worry about your roll. Yeah, he comes in. He is going to hit you unless you parry.
Okay. Parry.
He's going to hit you for a critical as well.
Yeah. Nope. Oh, well.
No. His sword comes blasting down. He slices right into your shoulder, into your sword arm. Actually, it really, really hurts.
Yeah.
He's hit you for 2 points of damage as you go staggering
Elven
backwards.
Shield does nothing.
Oh shit! Yeah, your Elven Shield. I do apologise. Roll a d6 for me. You have to roll a 6.
All right. Nope.
That shield does nothing.
No, yeah, you're right.
Actually, kind of game for 6s.
It's very pretty, but I might as well be using a dustbin lid. Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
elves.
basically.
In fact, that's what it is. It's an elven dustbin lid. That's how good they are. So yeah, you bring up the shield, but yeah, it's ineffective. He slices down and cuts straight into your shoulder. I might as well tell you what it does. The elven shield is magical. Every time you take a hit, you roll a d6. If you roll a 6, you take no damage.
Wow.
Okay. So literally, the shield will move on its own accord to help block the blow. It completely. I was making the rolls for the elf. It's completely useless for him, but it should be quite good for you.
If I live long enough.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, nice shield if you don't die. You tried to parry, didn't you? So you've still got another action.
Yeah, so I was going to try and. That's what I think I was going to go defensive.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so you'll get a bonus on the next round then. Yeah, got you. Yeah. Okay, so Caleb.
Caleb is going to try and get the people that are kind of around him to kind of push forward. We're going to run ahead. Spears outstretched, and with shouting at Helvendur again, just to try and, because it worked so well last time, and he's going to try and drive a spear through the first elf that he encounters.
Go for it. Make a person roll first of all.
Okay. Yes,
and yeah, you do. You force these people forward, and they literally come running forward with you, and then you make your first attack.
And this is where it all goes. Oh no, hit.
Oh, brilliant! Hit him for a point.
Yeah.
Roll a d6. If you roll a 1 or a 6, I'm going to want to know about it. Well, I'll see it. So. No, it's not. This elf is not already wounded. So, but yeah, you go flying forward with the spear. You stab him. He goes staggering backwards, a little bit perturbed, and yeah, he's heavily damaged. So yeah, so we move on to Talon.
Shooting.
Yeah.
And crying out, "Archer's fire!"
Okay. Pull off your shot first. If you hit, I'll give you a bonus if you hit. So yeah, you pull off a shot, it goes slamming into the back of the head of one of the elves, it goes slamming down. Your archers fire as well. I will give them a +1 for your hits. And they still miss. So well, some of them hit, but it's quite ineffective. It's a bit of a volley. It's like they've gone, and then just sort of miss, like, and then just sort of completely land on the floor. Or they have hit targets, but haven't done that much damage. So yeah, but you do have a second action.
Kill the elves! Defend the tower!
I don't even know why I bother asking. Just roll the dice. Yeah, roll d6. Person roll. Yes. Oh my god. Yeah, they're going to kill some elves. So, yeah, Helvendur, you're up.
I would be scanning the crowd looking for anybody who looks like they might either be an enemy mage or an enemy leader, or somebody that is calling the shots, and I want to try and stun, freeze, or otherwise, because I have a spell back.
Right. It's a good job. I was going to ask you to roll, but if you're actively looking, then you don't have to, because as you sort of start looking and thinking how you're going to turn this to our advantage, there's an elf dressed the same way as the guy that conjured the fog. He's still got one of those big sort of silver-looking spears. He's moving forward, and you see the end of the spear flicker into flame. Okay. What is it you want to do?
I would like to cast Hold and freeze him in place and interrupt whatever it is he's doing, and then hopefully shout him out, call him out as a target for people to shoot the guys next to me, to shoot him.
Brilliant. Make you roll then against mind.
Fuck's sake.
Oh my god. You cast the spell. You can't quite get it. You can't quite get it. Unfortunately, he's held the staff along, and you see the flame started to. He's sort of heading down the staff, and you can almost feel the energy as something's building up to happen. You've got a second action.
Can I shout and shoot at the same time?
Yeah, make a person roll.
That's all right.
So you've called him out.
I've called him out. That's the target, and then I want to shoot.
Yep. Pull off a shot.
Cool. I need to get over 4. Yes, I hit him.
Yes, you've hit. And the guys that are with you fire.
Yes.
Oh my god, and they all hit as well. So you cast a spell, it doesn't work, you think, oh fuck it. You shoot him, it hits him in the chest, he looks down there, and about another 6 arrows go all into his chest. He goes falling back, very, very dead. Now the staff hits the ground, and obviously he was going to cast some sort of flaming thing, but as the staff falls, it's like a hose of fire, goes screaming all around, and it literally sets fire to all the elves standing behind him, and they all just go up like candles. There's a huge cheer go up, not from the elves, but there's a massive, like I say, huge balls of fire heading in all directions. Goodness gracious!
Brilliant.
So yeah, there's that.
It.
So everybody make person rolls, please.
I failed.
Is that 3 successes? Yes, it is.
I got a 6.
Yeah.
I didn't.
So that's 3 successes. So you get a +1 to the roll of the Hammonds. So they get a 6, and the elves get 2. So you're holding the courtyard. Basically, you stop them moving forward, which is really, really handy. Most of the elves just outside the passage around about here at the moment are on fire, so that's really slowed their advance. Yeah, it's turned into a bit of a mess. And then you hear that horrible banshee like screaming, and there's obviously another mage somewhere. And those elves with the wickedly serrated swords are flying over the walls and sort of heading in the direction of where Talon and Faldor are. It's not looking very good. So we go back to Beck.
I'm not really much of fighting at the moment because he's quite heavily wounded.
Oh, right.
Just hanging in there.
Yep.
So I think he's gonna probably try and like motivate the troops to like pull in front of him.
Okay, make a person roll. Go for it.
It's like,
You're shouting over the noise and the shout, and then suddenly, for some strange reason, somebody started to have a barbecue just outside. Over the noise and all the shouting and the sound, people simply can't hear you. There's lots of screaming and shouting. There's no orders to these guys. Aren't soldiers. There's no orders to this. So you're trying to move back, yeah?
Yeah, and it's moving back away from the front line.
Got you. You're in defensive.
Can't take another hit. Yeah.
Yeah. The elf takes a swing and completely misses it as you start pushing backwards. Caleb.
Caleb he's currently in a line of these guys that are now kind of pushing some of these troops back, and he's just shouting, "Move!" and kind of periodically, like in rhythm, trying to get these guys to kind of push these elves back.
Okay, make a person roll.
Yay!
Yes. At your line here, yeah, you're holding them back at that wall. So you're around about, like I say, same sort of area in the outward porch between there and the well. That's where you're holding them back, and this goes into a bit of a choke point there. So that's where you both are at the moment. You're holding them back. You're pushing. You're shouting. People are moving forward. What they've got. You've got many soldiers around you, so they know what they're doing. They're taking orders. An elf is going to take a swing at you. You on the defensive, weren't you?
I could be.
Yeah, I said, don't worry about it. He takes a swing and completely misses anyway.
You're just oblivious. You just see the sword like comes around past your head. Just like...
He takes a swing and completely misses you, so you can take a swing back if you want.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah, let's see if we
Do
can send him on his way. Yeah, that's a hit.
That's a hit. You take a swing. Roll another d6 for me. If you've got a roll of 1 or a 6 with this particular elf.
It's a 6.
He's already wounded, so that takes him out. He's swinging the spear, he's come down, he's slicing him, takes his jaw off, he goes slapping down to the ground. Yeah, he's out for the count, and he's going to need some serious fucking face cream. So we're on to Talon.
Do we see the elves coming down from the sky?
Yes, you do, and they're coming straight in your direction. Just out of sight, on your side, that you can see the mage with his spear above his head.
I can see the mage.
You can see the mage. Yeah, it's out of sight of Faldor though. He's already taken out one, so.
Right, I'm going to shoot the mage. Kill the mage in the air!
Well, the mage isn't in the air, but his boys are. He's the one that's guiding them. So yeah, well, pull your shot off. Yep. No. Pull off the shot. It goes past. Your boy shoots. Need a 4 or more. No, they miss as well. And then that's when these warriors drop down on you. Let me just roll for them. They attack your lot. Oh no, they kind of fumble it really. They come flying down for their attack, but in the maelstrom of flesh and blood, they come blasting down. They do the attack, but it's obviously the mage isn't that good. He probably got P plates on, so he comes basically flying down, starts attacking. They sort of slamming down on the guys around you. But they've got the the wherewithal. I don't even know what the word is. They've got the sense to parry their attacks. So you've got a second action.
I'm moving away from the elves that have jumped into us, so I can get range, so I don't get a minus when I attack them.
So you're moving back. Okay, that's fine. So then we move on to Helvendur.
Before the group, the flames were flicking around and spinning around like a Catherine wheel in the courtyard. We were following, looked up, and we saw these guys flying down towards us. And I just screamed, "Above us!" and try and get the attention of everybody to quickly, deftly, and accurately turn their weapons onto those that are flying to try and take them out before they land.
Make a person roll.
No, fails.
No, they drop down, and if they win this round of battle, they would have forced your guys off the wall. Your guys roll a 5, so you don't want the elves to roll a 6, and they don't. So they drop down on you, and they are fighting, and they're holding their position. I mean, where these elves come in, like 10 are going to take their place. They're literally flooding in now. This is a forlorn action, but it's up to you. What do you want to do next? You still got 2 actions.
I'm gonna. So the numbers that are coming down off the sky are just so vast at this point. It just looks
There's
like
loads,
thickness, and I just shout, "Fall back off the wall!"
Yep. Make a person test.
The 5 success.
Oh yeah, they start falling back. they start pushing back off the wall, trying to get down as fast as they possibly can. Some of them are just leaping for their lives. Yeah. And these guys coming down, because remember, these flying elves were actually spread out across the wall, across the castle at one point, but now they're all focused onto one area, and they're coming down really, really hard. Okay, at the end of this round, can everybody please make person rolls?
Success.
Good one. That's 2 successes. One more. Talon, was that a success?
It was a success, yes.
So that's a +1 to the roll of the humans. They get a 3, and the elves get a 4. So the elves are now pushing you back. As you guys get back down, as Helvendur gets back down to the courtyard, you'll now join the others. You're still on the chapel wall there, Talon, and you're in danger of getting cut off.
Okay.
You going to stay there?
No, I'm heading out. I'm moving.
Yeah. You get down. Everybody else follows you. The ones that aren't getting cut down, and now you're sort of at the stairs here at the side of the drawbridge where you're being pushed back. Things are looking kind of desperate. This is basically going to be the last stand now. If you get into that in the ward, you're going to be trapped in there. For God knows how long, but with the ghetto worm air out there, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. The actual... Can somebody roll a d6 for me, please?
I mean...
Can someone else do it? Just, my luck.
Hey.
I've run out of luck.
There you go.
Okay.
I did a 4.
4. Okay, 4. So you're going to hold out for as long as you can. So, well, Beck.
He's going to carry on trying to rally the troops.
Okay, make a person roll.
I guess shield arm is probably like hanging quite heavily.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no, they're losing hope now. The elves are pushed through. What their short-lived victory of them pushed them off the wall, been completely destroyed by this monstrous machine. The elves are now just swarming in like cockroaches. They're going at the walls and all over the place. They're leaping. They're shooting down on them now from the walls that they've just taken. The men are just dropping one after the other. It's desperate. Do you want to use any of your other actions?
He's gonna withdraw, I think, into the inner ward. I mean, sorry, would there be a gate or something between?
You've got the door, the main door just here, and then there's a gate just here, and a portcullis.
Yeah, I wonder if I could get to the portcullis, try and start making my way towards the portcullis controls to, drop it the moment people get through.
Yep. Yeah, people are already
Try and
pushing
buy us some
through.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. Caleb.
Caleb, he's going to attempt. He shouts out to these guys that have been following orders. Going to kind of just shout, "Hold the line! Give the men a chance to fall back!"
Make a person roll. They don't listen. They break ranks. And they literally just all they see is the gate and possible salvation in the inner ward, and they start rushing back. Unfortunately, because you're pushing back, because Beck and yourself and Caleb both had their roles, Talon and Faldor, if you get your people to hold, that's fine, but they will be slaughtered. So you can either follow them or have a last stand. It's completely up to you. Talon will deal with you first.
Fuck it, we're already mercenaries. I'm pulling back.
Yeah, pulling back.
Good
Faldor?
Alice.
I'm already halfway there.
No, of course. Yeah, you taking the people with you? Do you want to?
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to rally them to follow you? Okay,
Yeah.
both of you make persons rolls then.
'Cause they've
Actually, no, don't bother. They're not going to say, "No, it's
Oh,
all right, mate. We'll
you
stay
never
here."
know. Yeah,
Yeah. No, they all both come. They all come running with you as you go fall back, and then you all fall back for the gates. I mean, Caleb, there you're shouting, hold them!" But in the end, there's two guys actually grabbing hold of you, Caleb, and dragging you back. Saying it's no good, just run! As they're all sort of heading back towards where the gates are, and they all basically just push through. That's Bet. You can now activate the portcullis as the last people. Well, Caleb's the last one to be dragged through. Yeah, you activate the portcullis. Portcullis comes down, the doors automatically slam shut, and outside all you can hear is the against the doors, and it's like and then there's a slamming sound, and then it's echoing, like even this courtyard is echoing throughout the entire courtyard. You're actually inside the building now, so you're inside this massive hall, and in the inner ward, this is all roofed off, and
I don't suppose there's one of those castles with the holes by the portcullis where you can pour like burning oil through.
Murder
Yeah.
holes.
yeah, it's got all of that. But at the moment, it's just a massive room just full of all the survivors from the castle.
Yeah.
They're all shouting. You hear the doors being slammed. You hear the portcullis. You hear this wrenching of metal. The doors themselves are shaking and rocking. And people are terrified. Well, as soon as they come through that door, you're all going to get slaughtered. Does anybody want to say anything?
I don't know what to say.
I'm making my way over this way, and getting up onto
Well
the
done.
walls and getting out of there.
Yeah.
We're mercenaries. We're not going to get paid if the castle
Well.
falls. Save yourselves!
Anybody?
We just need to hold till the reinforcements arrive.
Hold! Says a
That
random
thing that
guy
people
at the
forgot
back.
about from the very beginning. Just,
We're
as
going to
long as we
surrender.
I can't get the reinforcements.
come back here, bloodlust.
Where's your bloodlust now?
Out there.
I think his bloodlust climbed out the window and ran off into the night.
Anybody else?
No, I think Caleb's he's gonna run for one of the towers. I want to get a good look
Yep.
at the big trebuchet thing.
Yep.
And see when that is next gonna fire.
Faldor, do you want to do anything?
No, I'm already getting height, and I'm trying to tell people to get up, onto whatever passes for
Yep.
elevation.
People start heading back and then thumps, but then suddenly the door, it was being thumped. It was just little rat, like there's thousands of hands banging on it. It just stops, and then the dust that was falling from the rafters sort of still drops, and then everything goes straight. And then you can hear, footsteps and falling, and the roaring and the shouting outside just seems to have stopped.
I think they're
And
about to fire.
in the distance, you hear a very plaintive. Who was going up to the tower?
Me, I was heading up there.
Yep, you sort of get up the stairs, you run up the staircase. It's quite a long way because bloody hell, they didn't know how to build in those days. So you run up the staircase, you get to the very top, you look out, and you see the elves are streaming out of the castle. Because off in the distance to the left, you see the banners of the kings. And the king's army is crying over the hill, and is blasting down the hillside. And you see it smash into the flank of the elves, bodies flying in all sorts of different directions. You see arrows flying off over the heads. And also, just down to the right, that ogre that ran out into the throat, he's still there. He's got his mallet in his hand. He's got arrows sticking over. He's going, just fuck off! And he's literally just going for it. He's kicking them out of the way. There's bodies flying in all directions. And the elves are literally pulling back, and you see the king's army is actually making its way towards the Ghetto Wormir, which is actually already halfway through being reloaded. There's horns blaring, the elves are shouting, they all go running back. What is it you want to do?
I'm gonna run back down the stairs, half falling, tripping over myself as I'm running down the stairs, shouting, "The king's here! The king's here!"
And the rest of his body.
Said it was all right.
You can come back now, Talon. So basically,
I was going range to shoot.
Yeah, he's gonna arrive just in time to get the credit.
you go rushing down. Are you going out? The elves don't appear to be at the door anymore.
I might tentatively take a look if I.
Let's
Mind you,
attack.
can I? Somebody's got to wiggle open the door.
Let's go.
But there's loads of holes in it now. You look through it. The portcullis has literally been magically wrenched off. But no, the elves have cleared the courtyard. The only elves in the courtyard are the dead ones.
Attack
Oh.
from the flanks. Let's go.
Yeah, we got him right where we want him, boys.
Attack.
Talon's just straight through that door and he's off. Boom!
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, he's changing his tune.
The commander's found his second wind, and he's now chasing the elven army out of the gates. I wonder what's changed.
Yeah,
Okay,
and don't
everything
come back.
Valder was making his way up the stairs, assuming the tower gives access to the higher points
Yep.
in Hut. And as he does that, he just gets to the point, and he just sees Caleb running back down again, shouting. He just sort of turns around and starts walking back down again.
Oh shit! Bloody steps. So basically everybody make personal roll, please. I'm going to give you a +1 to all your rolls.
Yes, success then.
Yeah, I got a success.
Oh, then I would have got a
Plus
6
one.
with that +1. I
Yeah,
got a 6.
brilliant.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, you get the gate open because Talon's gone off on one, and he's basically just gone blasting outside. The people sort of follow, and yeah, the arse end of the elven army is blasting out the gates, and you just literally just fall on the back of them, and they're in complete disarray. And you see them all blasting off in different directions and all sorts. And like I say, that ogre's there, and he's stamping on the head. And you guys come out, and within moments, the elves are in complete rout. You see them rushing back. You see them on their horses. They leave their siege towers. They leave their catapults, and they're in complete disarray. And like I say, as the army smacks in from that side, the other king of the other kingdom, whose name escapes me, comes around the other side, and they've caught them. Basically, come around the castle and caught them in a pincer movement. And they're already in slight disarray after what you guys have done, and now they're even more so. And they're basically just being pushed back and over and out into the forest. Overhead, you see the wyvern with them guy with the pennant, out of bow shot. Thank you, Talon. And he's basically looking down, and he's sort of circling.
Alert me in that trebuchet.
and he's looking down, and he's got the spear with the pennant, white pennant. He just lets that drop, and he turns the wyvern and heads off in the opposite direction where all the other elves are running. That drops down and lands right in the battlefield, near to where you guys are, and then he just takes off. What his intention was, you'll never know. As you stand there surveying the carnage and the piles of bodies in all sorts of different directions, the king's horn is playing, and you see that, like, they're still fighting and they're shouting and there's cries of jubilation. The ogre wipes off an elven arm off his shield, spits on the floor, looks at the carnage and goes, "Wankers." And that's the end, guys.
Hey. Brilliant.
I want to pass that lance over to Talon and say, "I think this is for you."
It's made of solid silver.
Elvish silk, it'll go around with your hair.
Absolutely fantastic. Well done.
Okay,
Nice
That was fun. That was
Excellent.
hilariously
Yeah.
fun.
Never did
I'm
we
not about to
have
talk for about 3 days now.
a
Yeah,
battle
sorry.
at such pace. Phenomenal.
In
Well done.
the closing words of my commander.
Kill the elves! Kill the elves!
No, man. Yeah, and I tell you what, you are not invited to the next one, and I will not be drinking. I will not be drinking any kind of liquid that will stain my perfectly decent clothes. Because I swear to God, I am not going to fork out for any more Lenore just so that you can have a good time at my game. Sorry, I'm not having it. So, but yeah.
Excellent.
No, good. I really enjoyed that, guys. Thank you so much for turning up for that. That was
Yeah,
really, really
thanks
good.
for having
Can
us.
I-
Awesome.
Thank you.
And can I just remind everybody that was the game In Darkest Warrens by Scott Malthouse. Go over to Drive Through RPG right now, type in Darkest Warrens and download the Ultimate Edition. It's pay what you want. It's a really good game, and it'll keep you going for a long, long time. Some really good stuff in there. So it's only 4 pages long. Actually, it's 3
Yeah.
pages long. That's how simple
I
it
think-
is. It's really, really good.
Even Ange might be able to read that one and get the rules. Maybe.
Hmm.
I'm assuming she's not watching. Otherwise, he would never have said that.
All right then. Well, everybody, thank you so much for that, John. Thank you on behalf of Infinite
Yeah,
Monkey
that's
Tales
excellent.
for putting that up. That's
Oh,
absolutely
sorry, and before
epic.
you go,
Oh.
I do apologise very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Also, the map, the world map that I used, let me just activate that very quickly. That was done by, I should have written this down, and I do apologise. It's Asger, I think it was. Fantasy World Generator. It's called Asgar's Fantasy Map Generator. It's completely free, and you can download, modify, change names, change layouts, shielding. It's really, really good. I can highly recommend it.
Get all the links
That looks
from
great.
this today. We'll get all the links into our Discord. If you haven't already, please do jump into our Infinite Monkey Tales Discord, where we are continually talking about tabletop role-playing games and all the fine associated things alongside storytelling, and dice being one of the favourites. Dice particularly, we love dice. So much dice stuff happening there. If anybody who hasn't already, if somebody could please give us, I could do it if nobody else is around to do it, if you give a shout out for Discord. And if you have enjoyed what has been happening today, then do check our YouTube as well, because on our YouTube there is a huge amount of content from all of our shows in the past, and we will continue to upload them once we have done them live here. They will be up about a week or so afterwards, so if you want to go and see what else we've been up to, then please do jump over to our YouTube and subscribe. That would be much appreciated, and also watch when these awesome shows are put up there. So that's it. We're doing
Can we quickly mention the music was from Sirenscape? Yeah.
Yeah.
With additional music from Scott Buckley at scottbuckley.com.au. His stuff is
Nice one,
brilliant,
Scott.
and it's free to use as long as you credit him. So I'm crediting him.
well
That's how
done.
cheap we are,
And
guys.
if anybody, if anybody would like to join us on any of these games, you see some familiar faces around today, but it does not have to be that. One of these faces could be yours, whether we are streaming or whether we are not streaming. We are always playing games, and we'd really like you to come and join in. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night, have a great evening, have a great afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Cheerio.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.